out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
What's good? You are tuning in Apartment 5B podcast, hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me, in effect, as always. My little bro, JR, the R&B guru, youngest in charge. What's going on, fam?
What's up? Feel good to be back. We're going for
a week. All right.
Jump off again.
Rel, I don't even need to say nothing, my G. We going to the Super Bowl, man.
Yes, indeed. Philly all day.
There's nothing else to really say, man. I couldn't even sleep the night before. I don't even know how to sleep the night before the Super Bowl. I couldn't sleep the night before the NFC chip. So it's definitely going to be something. It's going to be something. Yeah. If our players to stop kidnapping and raping women, that'd be a good thing too. But that's a whole nother, topic of discussion. Yeah. Burn, out of ATL. What's going on, good brother? You muted, bro.
My bad. Happy to be here, man. Y'all handle that business in 2 weeks, bro.
Oh, no doubt. We will. Yes, and I don't like a lot of people up there talking about, y'all won, but they wasn't at full strength. They wasn't at full strength because of us. Them niggas ain't true. That nigga, we knocked out both their quarterbacks. That's what you do. You act like they went in without the two quarterbacks.
Bro,
that would be different. But you started. Purdy started. He just didn't end. So
exactly.
Ohio State told Georgia, only reason y'all won because you knocked out Marvin Harrison. It was a clean hit. There was no penalty. That's football, nigga. Next man up.
It is not our fault. Y'all ran out of quarterbacks. That's a personal problem, my G. It has nothing to do with us. So please save all that for somebody else or whatever. Y'all know me. Let's jump right into it. This week, we are taking a quote from one of my favorite hip-hop artists ever, Guru. It's mostly the voice. You know what I mean? Like, the voice of them rappers. When you hear a rapper and you know it's them. I have some examples of artists that, for a while, they didn't have a dope voice to me, so I would always hear them, and I'd be like, yo, who is that? But to me, it's just nothing doper than having a voice. Now, here's the funniest thing that a lot of people don't know about me. I hate my voice. Like, I despise my voice. Like, when I used to rap, what happened, JR?
I hate mine too.
When I used to rap, yo, Vern, my man would say would hate me because I would come to the studio, no lie, 40 takes. And they'd be like, bro, it all sounds the same.
I hate you too.
Yeah, it's like, bro, it all sounds the same. Your voice isn't changing. And then when I got my own studio, I would wake up first thing in the morning, don't even brush my teeth for nothing because I wanted that gargled voice, that voice, that fresh out of bed voice, like, to be on the mic. You gotta remember this 92, 93, every Onyx is out.
You wanted to sound like Puffy on the Dolly My Baby mix.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like, that super cat, right? You know what I mean? Like, I wanted that, like, that Onyx voice, that grimy, like that, throw your guns in the air, I wanted that voice, and I couldn't get that during the day. But it's ironic because then I do 8 years of radio. I host a podcast, but I hate my voice to this day. Like, to this day, I'm like, God damn, I wish I had this voice. You know what I mean? So we're going to be talking about the top 5 dopest voices in hip hop, or voices that just stand out to you, and R&B too, because I do believe that there are some women who have beautiful voices. They may not be the greatest singers in the world, but they just have beautiful voices to me, or people who have like very unique voices or whatever like that. I'm going to set it off. I'm going to go with the person who to this day, I wish I had his voice, and it's Jadakiss. I just think Jada has one of the dopest voices in hip hop. When you hear Jada rapping, you know it's him. When you hear him talking, you know it's him. It's just Jada. I don't even know. How would you explain his voice? Is it rasp? Like what?
It's got rasp in it. but it's got punch to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to describe though.
It's almost like he sounds like he's been smoking for 60 years, but like he's still healthy. Or, you know what I mean? But it's something in his voice that just, but anytime I hear Kiss rhyme, anytime I hear him in an interview or whatever like that, I'm just always, you talk about voice envy. It's like, damn, if I had Jada's voice, you know what I mean? So that's one of the people for me. JR, who's one of the people for you? Oh, R&B wise. Let me
Okay.
go on my R&B route. I've always loved Dawn from En Vogue's voice and Lucy Pearl. You know what I mean? I just think she has a beautiful voice. Like when she sings, I'm just like in love. Like her voice just sounds so beautiful to me. She just has a voice like, you know, even on a Lucy Pearl album, like what was the joint, JR? Something about your man. Keep your hands off my man.
Don't mess with my man.
Yeah, don't mess with my man. Like even on that, or even on what was the single? What was their
Dance
first
Tonight.
single?
Dance
Tonight. When she comes in on Dance Tonight, just her voice, she just has to me a beautiful voice. So that's one of my people on the R&B side. JR, what about you? What do you have?
All right, I got, because we can do male and female, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, all right. I got Levi Stubbs
I'll let you have that
from
one.
Thank you. I knew you were. Thank you. I appreciate it. Levi, like his voice, I felt like was the best voice at
because I hold on. Y'all know me. I'm sure somebody was like, "Come on, Kill." Everybody knows Levi Strauss. No, they don't, because I don't. So
if you feel that you can't go on,
Four Tops. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that song will always take me back to Cooley High.
Cooley High. Yeah.
Cooley High. Yeah.
There you go. Just reach out for me. All right, I'll be there. All right, my fault. Okay, so
no, you good. You good.
Because again, that's why I love this show, because I can learn. Was he was the lead singer of the Four Tops, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I just think his voice was the best voice at Motown to me. I think everybody as male vocal anyway, because everybody kind of go to David, and when it comes to the, everybody be like David Ruffin. He had a voice of a kind, but to me, I think Levi Stubbs had the best voice to me. It's so powerful. Like, listen to the song "Ask for Lonely," y'all. Like, you would really see the power and the operatic type of voice that he had, and I think, and it was so church. And I'm glad that Holla Doja Holland let him go a little bit above his range, because they was like, we're gonna take him there so we can kind of let him get that gospel that we know he has. So they let him kind of always go a little out of his range, and it was perfect. So anytime you hear Levi, you know it's him. You know what I mean? So he's one of my favorite voices.
So Kill, I texted JR today, might have been, and said, "Hey, I'm gonna let you have Levi Stubbs. So let me chime in on Levi. He sang with an urgency. I mean,
yes,
and that voice is so masculine, man. It's like, just powerful, masculine, and urgent. Like, gotta get this. So yeah, Levi is a dope one.
Now tell me this, JR. Did the Four Tops break up like the Temps did, or did they do an Outkast? They just stopped making music together.
No, they even left Motown and all that and went to another label, but they stayed together. It's just they got older, and after a while, Levi stopped touring in like '95, and after that, it was just a wrap. After that,
all right, because I was just gonna say, okay, boom, his voice is this powerful. What about the solo work? But they never broke up.
Nah, they went from label to label to label, and they stayed together. So,
all right, no doubt. You have a female for us for your first one, or
I can. I'm gonna say the one we talked about.
We gonna do that one together, JR.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say Tamia.
Okay.
I think her voice is so pure. And I feel like a lot of people don't really discuss it. It's very pure. And I just, a lot of people don't really go in for Tamia like they should. Like, her voice, it's like she sings perfectly. And sometimes I think a lot of people give her a little much for it. But I think her voice is so pure and so clear. And she enunciates properly and everything. So when you know it's her on the record, no matter if she's singing a up tempo or a ballad. So I think
Tamia gets the backlash of her living a nice, simple, clean life.
Yep.
With a happy marriage with Grant. She ain't got enough, drama in her life, so people hold that against her.
No, I can see that. One of my homeboys once told me, he was like, "Man, I don't mess with Steph Curry." I was like, "Why?" He's like,
"That's what I was gonna say.
Motherfucker got his parents in the stands and shit." I'm like, "God damn, your parents? You don't like because he got parents?"
Yep.
Like, that's where we at now. Like a nigga got parents who come in the game and support him, and that's why you don't like Steph Curry. Like, damn, nigga, I'll give you a hug, nigga. You need a hug? Like, I'm sorry. My dad wasn't there for you, but I've never just heard somebody be like, "Yo, the nigga got parents." Like,
he get backlash. Kill you, my brother, because that's exactly who I was thinking about when I said Tamia. The light skin backlash. Come from a good home foundation. People, I got it's a love deficit, as you said, Kill, because the things that they criticize people for, like, you want that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Gnu and Eddie, what's going on? Gnu, you good?
Yo, what's good?
Your mic, we can't hear you, bro.
I heard him. I heard Eddie.
Yeah, I heard Eddie. I didn't hear you.
Oh, now we hear good.
I still can't hear you. Nah. Yeah, try log off and come back on. All right, bet. What's going on, Eddie?
Yo, man, I'm good, man.
All right. No doubt.
I had a day off today, man, so I'm chill.
Oh, that's always a good thing. A day off is always a great thing. That's what's up. Brown, what you got for your first, man?
So, who was the voice you said you wanted when you was coming up? You wanted like
shit. The voice I wanted now is Jay. Oh, what did I want? I wanted how did I describe it?
Onyx,
raspy, grungy, deep voice, almost type thing. That just ain't my voice.
Yeah. So the voice I wanted was Prodigy's voice. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like coming up, I told you, we was heavily influenced by Mobb Deep. Like, he just had it's like a real deep, serious, voice that fit the production, fit the subject matter and all that. Like, I just think he got the perfect voice for Mobb Deep and everything that Mobb Deep represents. Like, Prodigy's voice just fits it, from somebody that he got the voice of somebody that's not as small as he is, you would heard it and you ain't see him, you would think it was like somebody else, like of a different stature, but coming from this little dude, but he got like a real powerful and like deep, voice that fit everything Mobb Deep put out. So I'm gonna go with P.
All right, you got anybody on the R&B tip, or you just all hip hop?
I got an R&B. Shaka Khan. For me,
that's
dope. I love her voice. I love the fact that like when it's almost sometimes it sounds like she's screaming. Yeah. And then she can go like her range is real good. Like she can go like real deep with her voice, and then go real high pitch. You know what I'm saying? Like like that was my mom's favorite artist. So I heard. Aretha actually was my mom's favorite artist, but Shaka was one as well. And I just, my whole childhood, I heard those two. You know what I'm saying? I always like loved like Shaka Khan's voice and like the range of her voice. You know what I'm saying? Like she can like embarrass you a little bit if you ain't up to par vocally. You know what I'm saying? So I heard stories of her doing it to people. So you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with Shaka.
I bet she give good hugs too, man. I bet she do.
Oh God, man, what a night! Good news. You good, baby? Still can't hear you, bro. All right. Yeah. Vern, what you got up, good brother?
For hip hop, I'm gonna go with Ecstasy from Houdini.
Okay.
I love is that discos don't open. It's like it's very clear, it's very distinct. it's powerful, but it's like it's regal. That's what I would say. It's a regal voice.
That's a dope word to use for ecstasy. A regal voice.
Yeah. He wasn't hollering and yelling and screaming. He was just clear, and he said it in a he kind of stayed in the same tone. It wasn't monotone, but he's like, I'm gonna say it loud and clear, but I'm not gonna yell. And so I'm gonna choose ecstasy on the hip hop side. And
God bless the dead with ecstasy.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
especially for that era, man.
Yeah.
Like, to be very distinct and dope as an MC as well.
Yep. And then on the R&B side, my first choice, since JR went way back, I'm gonna go way back. No, I'm gonna go with the person who I think was influenced by Levi Stubbs, James Ingram.
What the? I knew we was gonna do this. Go ahead.
So James Ingram, if you remember, he had two trademarks. That high pitched. I ain't gonna try to do it, but who he did.
Y'all niggas done song on here before. You and JR might as well get the quartet going back.
Nick, I can't get that out. Okay, I'm gonna try.
Nah, James Ingram got some ish that I ain't even gonna try.
On most of his songs, he had that trademark. No, I ain't gonna even try. But if you think about it, it's on The Secret Garden, on all his songs, man. Baby Come to Me, There's No Easy Way, Find 100 Ways. Yamo Be There. He hit that. But then that growl. That's why I think he studied Levi Stubbs, because like I can remember, man, when Baby Come to Me came out, James had me in the 5th grade growling on the phone to Belita Lockett. Spending every dime to keep your tongue.
This dude know the name. He like Benita, Alicia, Lockett. That lived at 2275 Hunters Place.
Actually, her middle name was Trindina, and her mama drove a red Delta 88. But that's neither here nor there. I put this on Twitter today. I love continuums in music. So I think you go from Levi Stubbs, James Ingram, and I think Anthony Davis studied James Ingram. He got that husky growl, but my choice is James Ingram on the R&B side.
All right, no doubt. Canoe, we got you now, bro.
Can you hear me now?
You good?
Damn. Thank you.
You're in the building. We in the building.
So we talking R&B now, or what's you know what I mean?
We doing the dopest hip hop voices. If you got R&B, we got those too. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, we gonna set off with hip hop. Eddie, what you got for your first ones?
All right. For hip hop, I got hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
So for hip hop, I'm gonna start it off with Scarface, because Scarface got one of the most distinctive voices. Also, very commanding voice. Like you hear him on the track, like he don't have to wow you with the lyrical acrobatics or any of that. It's like his voice is enough, but also he's kind of I compare him kind of like a Southern Chuck D, because it's like his words, like what he chooses to say with that voice, right? It kind of sticks with you. You know what I mean? Like he puts a lot of depth in his lyrics as well. He utilizes that voice. Like he knows exactly how to use it. So and definitely a good fit for the group as well. For R&B, you know what I mean? I ain't going as deep as Burna JR. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with artists who I feel like have a dope, distinctive voice. And for me, one of mine is Al Green. Every time I hear him, you know what I mean, very distinctive. Like, got a nice, quality to it. You know what I mean? Got that gospel. But also, you know what I mean? Like he's singing regular R&B songs, So, I just love his voice, whenever I hear one of his songs.
That's what's up. Good news. Who you got up first, bro?
Yeah, so as far as hip hop, I'm gonna start off with one of the most distinctive voices, in my opinion, is Sadat X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. back in the 90s, there was a time when like Dottie X was on fire, but his voice was always real distinct to me. Like I was always able to know, like when you heard him on the track, you knew it was him. But his whole delivery to me is like it kind of reminds me of like an old school, like like throw your hands in the air kind of.
You're right.
He's not saying throw your hands in the air. He has bars. He has like bars in his rhymes, but he'll say like check it out. But Sadat X for me, man. He's one of the most distinctive voices in hip hop. He's still making music today, man. So.
Yeah. Sadat was one of mine too, man, because a couple of mine, well, some people on here I may name as honorable mentions, but they have distinct voices and they also have distinct styles. To me, Sadat falls in that category of a very, because the first time I heard him on, Concerto on One for All, I was like, I ain't even like it. You know what I mean? Because it was like, it was the voice and it was the flow, and it just, you know what I mean? Like
it was like kind of like offbeat.
Yeah, it's kind of like offbeat, and it was like I don't like this boy's voice, and I don't like his flow. You know what I mean? But as time grew on, it was like, yo, like he ended up becoming my favorite and brand new. You know what I mean? Because it was just like it was so, especially by the time Punch Jump Up came out. Like that whole one day when I was standing on the train, I seen these two kids talking about the Nubian rain had fallen. You know what I mean? Like that, he just went in, and then like I think ever since then it was just like, okay, like this dude is dope, and I remember when he was Derek X, you know what I mean? Before he even got to Sadat X, you know what I mean? And I always tell people about this album right here, Black October. This is probably my favorite Sadat X album. He talks all about him getting locked up on Rikers and how it had to tell you the whole story on here. But just a very, very dope album right here. So if anybody out there wants to know more about Dot X, this is the album I would start with. Wild Cowboy's debut album was a dope album. It wasn't what I expected. I was expecting the 5 Mic classic off the rip with him. He's on Loud Records. It wasn't 5 Mics to me. It was a dope album. But this is probably no, you know what? It may not be this one. I may almost go with Experience and Education. Both of these are dope. Both of these are just two dope Sadat X albums. You can't go wrong with either one. So anybody trying to do the homework on Sadat X, you can't go wrong with Experience and Education or Black October. So dope for both of these right there. So
he's also, to me, he was also reminding me of Kool Keith, who was another cat on my list. But I think he kind of picked up where Kool Keith kind of left off, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a dope pull. The next person I got up on the hip hop side, I'm gonna go with somebody who's right there with Sadat, Freeway. You know what I mean?
I had him.
When I first heard Free, it probably was the Cassidy battle. You know what I mean? And folk who know me know Cassidy me and Cassidy grew up on the same block. We lived right across the street from each other. Probably 5, 6, 7 years apart in age. But, remembering him when he was just that boy, his name used to be the Ball B. You know what I mean? They used to call the Cypher, just was killing freestyles and everything like that. So when they battled, I was already, y'all know how I always felt with Big. Like if I'm signed with Big over Pac, nigga, I'm signed with Cassidy, who I actually know over anybody. So when that whole Cassidy Freeway battles, I was like, man, But then when you heard What They Do, it was like, yo, like, you just couldn't deny that. You know what I mean? Like it just clicked. And I mean, I was talking to my man the other day about Free and Beans. He was like, yo, but Beans don't even got no song as big as What They Do. I was like, damn, you know what? You absolutely right. Beans may be the better MC, but he don't have a What They Do. Because I'm telling you, play What They Do in Philly.
Bruh, I mean, you remember they played it at the 76ers, and old girl went off on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the joke in Philly. Like that's our Pledge of Allegiance. Like we start off every day at school with What They Do. You know what I mean? So again, very distinctive voice, very, very distinctive flow, unlike any others out there. And just again, keeping that brother in my prayers. In the past 3 years, he lost his daughter, his son, and his father. So he's been, I can't even imagine losing both your children back to back and losing your father.
And his health wasn't
right. And he had a kidney transplant before all of that. So, and again, I know he goes through it, but I mean, it seems like through, he's still here. You know, this man's still doing what he got to do, which is amazing. So definitely shouts to him. The next person I had is another voice who I hated at first, Amy Winehouse. When I first heard Amy Winehouse, I was like, yo, what is this? Like, because Quest was talking just Amy, he was just going on and on about Amy Winehouse. I was like, all right. And it wasn't Rehab. I forgot what the first song was. It may have been Rehab. I can't remember. But
it was Rehab. That was our first song. Yeah.
But it was just like, I mean, it's cool. You know what I mean? But throughout time, like, I love Back to Black. To me, it's a 5 mic classic. I love Amy Winehouse. I always tell people, Amy Winehouse, if you've never seen the documentary, it's called Amy. Check it out. It's a very, very, very dope documentary. Makes you respect her pen game, like, because she was really writing about her life. You know what I mean? Like, she was really, if you want one of those people who like me, I like people who, when they're open about, that was Amy Winehouse. Like, her pen game was dope. And it really, I remember when she would be on stage and she'd be drunk or high, and me and my friends would be laughing, like, texting, like, oh, you see your girl, she wildin'. Yo, this girl was really going through it. You know what I mean? And I felt horrible when she died because I used to make fun of her. You know what I mean? Like, and like, even when we see people like Ye, and I know black folk all over the world have canceled Ye, like, pray for that man because he's going through something. Like, I deal with enough people who deal with medication and kids who are medicated. Ye has said things you ever want to see a dude when I'm off my Lexapro, when he has issues. So, you know, again, you know, chill with the laughter. These celebrities, you know, fall apart in front of our faces, and then when they die, we want to be R.I.P. and all day. But while they alive, we making fun of them every day. So, and Amy really taught me that. So definitely Amy Winehouse. And anybody, I know everybody loves the Frank album. I still love, you know, Back to Black more. But Frank is a very dope album too. You can't go wrong with either one. JR, what you got up?
All right, I'm gonna go with Charlie Wilson.
Oh, Charlie.
Dope pick. Very, very, very dope pick.
You know when Charlie's on the record, it don't even
Bruh.
You know he's on it. You know what I'm saying? So, because I had already picked him, but then I was listening to Pebbles Mercedes Boy, and I'm hearing him more than her. Like, I'm like, especially at the breakdown, they let Charlie kind of go off. You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't even realize he's doing backgrounds on that?
On Mercedes Boy, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I wonder how did that happen? How do you call Charlie Wilson for background vocals?
Shoot, I mean, Charlie at that time, I don't even think Charlie probably remember doing it.
Yeah, he was still going through it then. Didn't he do another song with Pebbles though?
Do background for, and he's on so many sometimes he's even uncredited.
Okay.
So so Charlie has that distinct voice for real. But female, I'm gonna go with Tammy Terrell.
Okay.
Even her solo stuff, it's just like she has like a sweetness to her voice that I love. And obviously we know more about it with her and Marvin. You know what I'm saying? So she brought the sweetness to the duet. But if you listen to like her solo stuff when she was Tammy Montgomery, it was like, she's dope. You know what I mean? And I just like the sweetness of her voice. So anytime I hear her, it's just be like, that's Tammy Terrell right there. So
right. Real quick, Charlie Wilson, I think was so dope is he's still killing the game. You know what I mean? My favorite song on King's Disease 1 was that Car 85 with Charlie Wilson. And then they got another joint together on King's Disease 2, if I'm not mistaken. That's dope as hell too. So, you know, this man has been doing it through the 80s, you know what I mean? Still to right now. And they had this dope joint. It never got released. It was a Kanye joint with Charlie Wilson. This is back way Kanye when people still like Kanye. But it never got released. It's Kanye, Charlie, and Beyonce. Very dope song. I'm gonna find the name of it. And then Tammy Terrell, if I'm not mistaken, she was messing with David Ruffin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. See, I know I'm learning my Motown history. Okay.
Oh, Charlie still tear up a stage too.
I just seen Charlie when they was on tour with with New Edition and Jodeci. Yeah. And he tore it down for about an hour on. He said to prepare these.
Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely. Bro, who you got up next, bro?
For hip hop, I got Mos Def. weird voice to me when I first heard it. Like high pitched, very distinct. Like when you hear him, you know it's him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it fits. You know what I mean? It fits him. Like I said, when I first heard it, I was just like, you know, I was like, who is this? You know what I mean? But as I started hearing him more, like, I appreciated, you know what I'm saying, the distinctness in the voice. Kind of like Sadat X, like, it's like catch you off guard a little bit, but, you know what I'm saying, it's their own voice and style and all that, and it's dope. So for hip-hop, I went with Mos Def. For R&B, I went with Coco from SWV. That high pitch, but like her vocal ability is just great, like crazy. And to this day, like you saw it on the drum, like she still like again embarrassed you, like she embarrassed them on that or the verses drum. Like she official, like, and like that's another one. Like when you hear it, you hear the voice, you know exactly who it is. You know what I'm saying? So I went with Coco.
Hell, Coco on not the last SWV, but the one before that, we did Patty's If Only You Knew, and I wasn't mad at it at all. You know what I mean? Like she did it justice. You know what I mean? So, JR, question: why didn't Coco solo album blow up? Because we talked about David Ruffin and Ralph Tresvant, why they didn't blow up. Coco was supposed to go solo and kill the game. Well, I thought she was because she's the lead singer. What happened?
We don't want to see Coco without Lillian Taj. That's just the bottom line. Like, she was made to be the lead singer of SWV. We don't want to see her because if you see her solo, you can see she's missing something. There was nothing there. Like, you're focused on her. Like, Coco don't dance like that. She ain't no dancer. She had none of that. You focused on the vocals, but at least Taj and Lily was on the side of her doing some stuff that you can kind of focus on the thing as a whole. Just because you got the voice don't mean you are a solo artist. That's what I feel.
I guess
so
that's what. Go ahead, Jim.
So question. So, and you may have answered it already. So Beyonce was able to do it because she puts on the whole show. She dances.
And also had a father that was relentless. So.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, most solo artists most artists who are in a group who go solo, we don't mind that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think any of us were expecting Ralph to not blow up, and we'd be like, well, where the fuck is Johnny, Ricky, Bobby, and Ralph? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, not a Ralph, because Ralph is Ralph, but y'all know what I mean. Like, when you say that about SWV, it almost makes sense. That's like, we didn't want to see Coco by herself, but with these other two people. But what about all the other solo singers? It's like Puba. When Puba left Brand Nubian, I don't think nobody was like, I wasn't thinking, oh man, it's a rap Puba because we're Sadat and Jamar. You know what I mean? Because at the time, it felt like Puba was the best rapper. Yeah. So it was like, okay, we're welcoming Puba going solo. We're welcoming Large Professor going solo. We're welcoming Eric Sermon and Parrish going solo. Like, but when it comes to SWV, it feels like you're right. Like, we weren't going to allow Coco to go solo.
And then the group being so big as it was, I mean, she was out in front anyway. So it was like,
anyway, right? Why? Yeah.
Go solo for it anyway. You were doing all damn near the leads, and everybody.
I mean, I think most people go solo because you get tired of splitting it three ways. So, like you just said, she's in the lead anyway. So it's like, well, shit. If I'm paying for apartment 5B and the 5 of y'all are my roommates and y'all ain't chipping in, nigga, I might as well have my own house. I see what you're saying, because I was just thinking about too, I don't think T-Boz would have been able to go solo successfully. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been like, where's Left Eye and Chili? Like, but then the other thing with T-Boz is she really couldn't sing.
She can't really sing, but
in my eyes, that was why T-Boz wouldn't be able to succeed, because she really can't sing. Coco, so I felt like T-Boz needed Chili. We needed Chili at that hook, because that deep voice only can last for so long.
You needed Deborah Killings to quiet as kept. That's what you really needed, Deborah Killings.
Plus the rap, because it was like, but with Coco, she could sing. But I see what you're saying, but I'm just like, damn, that's kind of messed up that we let everybody else go solo and was cool with it. But, you know.
I think also the dynamic of the group, like, she was a really dope lead singer, but, you know, we also love all the harmonies, like, the dynamic. You know, it was the total group dynamic that enamored everyone. Like the harmonies were always on point.
Yes.
JR, did you like her gospel album?
I did. I thought I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
But
I liked it too.
in my mind, I was still like, where's like, even if it was a gospel joint, because Clap Your Hands is still one of my favorite records.
Yeah, I like that. I'm happy.
Yes.
Yeah. That flute, you're killing it.
Like, dang, where's Coco? I mean, Taj and Lily, but Coco realized I need my girls. Period. So,
all right, that's dope. That's dope. Bro, who you got up next, good brother?
Women love the voice. Brothers did the lyrics. Quest the people's choice. Q-Tip.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I gotta say this too. My wife got some kind of crush on this nigga, so I gotta give. and she don't even like hip hop. Is that Q-Tip? Yeah, that's him. Q-Tip's voice is very nasal, very distinctive, and Q-Tip. When I heard Footprints, that's the song that made me want to be a rapper. So you add all those elements. I mean, and for the longest of time, Tribe was my favorite group. Now it's Tribe, De La, whatever. But yeah, Q-Tip on the hip hop side, and
I'll let you have it.
No, we're gonna share the one because
these two niggas playing spades right now.
No, so I because we play spades, I texted JR today. I said, I'm gonna let you have Levi Stubbs because I know that's gonna be one of the ones you want. So, but the other one I'm gonna talk about, we gonna share. I'm gonna go old school again, and I'm gonna go Felipe Win from the Spinners.
Wow, nigga, I was ready for you to say Menudo, like Felipe, like Menudo. Nigga, don't they change out their 5 members every 5 years or something? Like this nigga said Felipe. Who niggas have Felipe? I'm like Chico. What we doing right now?
He said Menudo, bro. Oh my god.
I don't know, y'all niggas is old as shit. Like I'm like, god damn, the Spinners. Like y'all niggas naming people in the Spinners. Y'all niggas are some dedicated musical theologians or whatever the word is out here. This nigga said the Spinners. Nigga said Felipe Mendez from the fucking Spinners.
I said Felipe Win.
Win. I thought you said Mendez. I don't know, man. I just went straight to Menudo. Now I'm in a Mexican mood. I'm in Cancun right now. My bad. Let me be quiet.
So one of the most distinctive voices in R&B history to me.
I got to hear this nigga, Felipe Win.
Come on, man. You heard Rubber Band, man.
You Rubber Band.
You heard games people play.
Right.
Whenever you need me, I'll be there. I'll be around. You know these songs. Sadie, oh, don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? You know.
I know. I just gotta go back. I had no idea, and he's the lead singer. Is Felipe Win?
Yes.
Okay.
So he has. How could I describe his voice? He's like that uncle that you loved when you went over grandma's house because he's gonna give you some candy or whatever. I mean, because and the tone of his voice was so. It just reminds me of my childhood, like on games people play. He starts off and then like, hey y'all, prepare yourself for the rubber. Oh, he got that. It's a tone, man. That I can't. I'll be around. These are like timeless songs. Could it be I'm falling in love? One of a kind love, mighty love, man. His voice, man, is just a feel good. Take me back to the 70s. Fun uncle voice.
Yeah. This is what I wish we could do a live poll because I've never heard of Felipe Win. I didn't know. I could name you one person in the Spinners if you had $1 million in front of me right now. I would hope I'd be like somebody named Spin, like fucking Bobby Spin. Like hopefully somebody's last name is Spin. I don't know, but I'm gonna do the homework because you're right. I've heard all the songs, but I don't think I ever like paid attention. Groups like the Spinners to me kind of just all blended together. So I didn't know, the names of the lead singers like that. You know what I mean? So, but I definitely gonna do my homework on Felipe Win. All right, no doubt.
And my pop's got a picture from the 70s. JR, I'm gonna send it to you. He looked like Felipe. He got the with the pork chop sideburns and them glasses, man. Yeah. So that's just another reason.
All right. No doubt, no doubt. Eddie, what you got up, bro?
All right, I mean, there's a guy that we talk about often, you know, for this reason, and that's Rockness Monster from Delta Skelter Boot Camp.
Damn.
You know,
That's one of mine.
I just think that he used that voice. I mean, that distinct, that deepness, that kind of grit on it, just all of that. That's just so in your face and commanding, and you know, I think he utilized it pretty well with, you know, his flow and his rhyme schemes, the way he kind of used it to like set up his punchlines and all that. You know what I mean? Definitely dope. And I mean, listen, man, it took for Ruck to kind of take a whole other personality and switch up his style to kind of, you know, make us forget about Rock. You know what I mean?
Hey, Ed, I got a question, because I Rock was on my list, and so I went back and like studied. Why do you think he didn't have solo success?
I think he waited too long, honestly. Like I don't, because that Rockness AP joint, that came out way later. And I'm not sure if he had deals on the table and he was just renegotiating, or, you know, what was going on with that. I feel like if he would have struck while the iron was hot, like, he could have definitely had it. I really don't know, to be honest.
But, I mean, I think it's a fake on what Eddie said. He supposedly he had a deal, trying to get out from Priority to get a Dolo deal and everything like that. And I think too, it could have just been the production too. So it's that I feel like hip hop, if you wait too long, like you miss your shot. It's almost like going to the league. Like I always say, Miles Simon. That year they won a chip in '96. If he would have went to the league, he may have been a lottery pick. He came back for his senior year, nigga ended up being a second round pick. Like to go from the lot. So it's so much time. And then I think even too with Helter Skelter, that beat minor sound wasn't really there for them.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's also now you not only got to hold it down Dolo, but now you got to find production that kind of matches your style. You know what I mean? And I don't know if Rock is one of those MCs. He might be, I don't know. But is he the type of MC who's like, okay, this is the best type of production that fits my style? You know what I mean? Type thing. And I think that kind of, you know, was one of those things. I was never a big fan of the second Helter Skelter album. Like, I love Nocturnal to death, but what was that? The second one, Magnum Force. Yeah, I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't the follow-up I thought, you know, coming out of Nocturnal, you know. But almost none of them had the dope follow-up because they weren't messing with the beat miners. So I think, too, that kind of hurt Rock, too. And even with Rock came out with this whole I'm the brokest rapper alive.
Yeah.
And to me, it's always about a timing thing. I was just talking with Ev the other day about the Fuji. I was talking to this dude, Manny, who used to work at Sony, was working their project when I was at 889, and we were talking. He was like, yo, bro, it's just timing. Like, the score is doing so big because I felt like people just needed a break from all the gangster rap that was going on. You know what I mean? But he was like, if the score would have dropped in 94, it may have been too soft because of all the gangster rap that was going on. So it was like the perfect time. So I feel like the same thing with Sean P. Like, it was, everybody was blowing money. Everybody was money this, money that. And then he just comes in as like, I'm the brokest rapper alive. And it's like he's cracking jokes about himself. And it just was like the perfect time because niggas was like, yo, we tired of this get money shit. Everybody rapping about get money. And then here comes in Sean P. You know, again, same kind of way with Free. Specific voice with his own style, because nobody rapped like P. You know what I mean? So I think it was just like a perfect storm almost with Sean P too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I heard like some of his later albums on Rock and the production. Oh my God, bruh, nah, dog, nah. We need some grime. This other stuff. Like the song he did with Method Man. Nah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that could have been it for Rock. You got anybody in R&B, Eddie?
Yeah, you guys kind of mentioned her already, but T-Boz, I think T-Boz, just a really dope tone. I mean, just really unique, and I think with the dynamic of the group, obviously, Chili had a nice contrast of tone, like when she's doing like the bridges and hooks and stuff like that, and obviously you got Left Eye, adding the raps and other vocals. Like I don't know if T-Boz could have made it as a soloist, but I think with the dynamic of the group, like her unique tone, having the other two with her, like added a lot, and I think it was dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it goes back to what JR was saying about SWV. I don't think T-Boz would have been able to hold it down dolo, because it just, after a while, it'll become monotonous. Like, you know what I mean? It's like by the time you're sick of T-Boz, here comes Chili, and then here comes Left Eye. So it's almost just like, I think she got the best production in the world, and that thing still would have just fell flat on his face. So, Gnu, who you got up next, good brother?
Yeah. Well, Vern took my R&B guy, so nah.
I'm about to say, you knew Felipe too?
Nah.
Like, everybody listening to Menudo nowadays, man. We back.
Nah, but he definitely took my Q-Tip was on my list, man, too. I guess I'll go with Kool Keith, man. I was talking earlier how Sadat X is kind of an extension of Kool Keith from Ultramagnetic. His voice, man, he was always like had the offbeat, on-beat style. He had stuff, like he had stuff that like sometimes he rhyme and sometimes he don't. And he still manages to stay relevant and I don't want to say relevant because I know like hip hoppers like kids that today don't really fuck with him, but he still is putting out music, man. But like I say, anytime you hear his voice, you hear his music, you know that's Kool Keith, man.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Keith, man, I mean, y'all already know this is one of my favorite albums of all time. Critical Beatdown. This is a top 3 favorite hip hop album of all time for me. I felt like these dudes were like, y'all, and this is a sign of age right here. I don't know if y'all remember this tag team in wrestling. They was called the New Breed, and their whole thing was that they were from the future, and that they came from the future to wrestle. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I love wrestling. But that's how I felt about Ultramagnetic. I felt like Ced-Gee and Kool Keith were from the future because nobody was making beats like this. Nobody was rhyming like Kool Keith. That piece, that Nas sample, because I want it like that. I got it like that. It's better like that. I need it like that. For you whack MCs that blow on the mic. I mean, the way the beats and the rock, these dudes were from the future because nobody was rhyming like this in 87. I know this dropped in 88, but the 12-inch Funky was 86, 87. So Kool Keith is a dope pull. And somebody I don't think who gets a lot of respect. I know, he does the Black Elvis thing and he has a lot of personality, so that may throw people off. But the origins of Kool Keith is not but dope ass rhymes that were just they had Kool Keith, cool housing things. Like, oh my God, like Keith got business. Keith definitely got business.
I think the thing with Keith, like I know now, like he makes a lot of stuff that people don't care for, and every now and then he'll drop something that I'll be like, all right, that was pretty dope. I feel like you kind of alluding to what you're saying about Ultramagnetic. He's a very innovative mind, so I feel like he's always going to think of ways to push the envelope. Whether someone likes it or not, he's always kind of thinking on moving forward, not kind of staying stagnant, so to speak. So with artists like that, there's always going to be a mixed bag. If that makes sense.
Man, I miss these days, man. Just look at the back of this album cover. Keith just got on some slacks. Like, yo, dude just did their album cover and whatever we was wearing that day, man. Like, yo, just ain't no stylist. We just gonna be us, man. You know what I mean? The good days. The next person I got up, it's kind of like a tie because these two people, I always thought they sounded alike. And when I first heard the next person I'm about to say, I thought it was him. and it's Ish from Diggable Planets and Geechee Sway from Camp Lo. Like, they both had these distinctive voices, and I thought it was so dope on Camp Lo's debut on a joint called Swing, where they both were on it together. And if you watch the Lucchini video, it goes into the joint Swing, where it's both of them together. I just think they had these. They just Ish from Diggable Planets just had that voice, you know, with the cool like that. And again, Geechee Sway from Camp Lo, again, it's just that voice. You know what I mean? I think they just both have these crazy distinct voices. Vern, you've been the master of adjectives tonight. I don't know if you got a word for their voice. You know what I mean?
I was gonna pick Geechee as one of my MCs. How would you describe that? I don't have one for that one, man. But yes, definitely. Yeah. All right, no doubt. On the R&B side, I'm gonna go with my shorty. I love her, India Davenport. You know what I'm saying? Very brand new heavies. Yeah, brand new heavies. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite. If I'm ever in a bad mood, like Naomi will be like, just listen to Never Stop. Like Never Stop by the Brand Nubians. By the Brand New Heavies. It just, God, I don't care what's going on. That it's just gonna make, even if I'm not smiling on the outside, I'm smiling on the inside. Like, and her debut album, I really liked it. A lot of people really didn't rock with it, but she had this joint, Bring It On. Primo did a remix to it, which was crazy. I loved it because he sampled Das, I Biggity Bring It. I mean, it just fit perfectly, and so definitely check her first album. I don't think it's down there. I think it's in the attic, but definitely India Davenport. Love her to death. Hey man, shameless thing. She's cool as the other side of the pillow too. In real life, just a sweet, real person. Her mom is my new grandmother. When I told her my grandmother passed, she's like, "I'm your grandmother now." So just really good, solid earth people, man.
That's dope. That's dope to hear, man. Because working at 889 all them years, how he said, don't never meet your heroes, because some of them, like, you know what I mean? So that's really dope to hear that she's, you know, sweet and down to earth like that. Yeah. Bro, who you got up next, good brother? You know what? Hold up for a second, bro. Let me go back around the other end. I want to keep people waiting. So then, Gnu, who you got next up?
I'll say Slick Rick.
Dang, all mine getting knocked off.
Slick Rick, you know, when I first heard him with on the show, man, and Lobby Gotti, that was like unheard of, man. Another thing I was thinking of as I was thinking of voices, Humpty Hump, man, reminds me a lot of Slick Rick, man. Now that I was thinking about it, man, but like, you know, anytime you hear him on a track, you know that it's him. He always had that his voice is kind of nasal, and he got the British accent, and he just his presence, you know what I mean? He's just a fly dude with the gold and the jewelry, the valleys and the eye patch. He's just an interesting fellow, man. Just, you know what I mean, just by himself. But Slick Rick he's like the total package as far as a rapper is concerned with me. He got the voice, he got the style, you know what I mean? Yeah. The personality, he real cool, laid back dude. He just the essence of fly, man. So and his voice, like when you hear him and you see him, like it's like his voice matches his look. You know what I mean? Like that's how you see, like, oh, that's what Slick Rick would look like. You know? So, right. That's what his voice does for me.
It's funny, man, just because Rick, you know, we did a show about the top 5 MCs whose career would have been different if they didn't get locked up. And Rick's name is just right at the top, because it's like, you know, Rick would have been allowed to just continue to just drop, you know, albums in real time, and, you know, who knows what we could have got. Because, I mean, for young folk who don't understand it, that Great Adventures was everything, man. You know what I mean? From Teenage Love, you know what I mean, to, you know, of course, Children's Story. I mean, my favorite joint to this day is It Was the Moment I Feared. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just so much that I think Rick could have, you know, ended up being if it wasn't for that incident. Let me ask y'all this. So, Me and they are painting her room a couple of years ago. I got an old school mix on. Dana Dane's Nightmares comes on. She's like, Daddy, is that Slick Rick? I was like, nah, that's Dana Dane. She's like, oh, it was 2 MCs from London? I was like, oh no, Dana ain't from London. That nigga from Fort Greene, Brooklyn. That nigga, you know. She was like, well, why he rapping like that? I was like, oh, well, you know, he just, you know, acting like, you know, he has the accent or whatever. And she was like, but isn't that Biting Slick Rick? And I was like, well, they were in a crew called the Kango Crew. So, you know, it was all love. And she was like, was it? Like, you know, like, you know, now, you know, they is probably 12. And I'm like, now she got me rethinking hip hop. I'm like, well, shit, was it? I don't know. Like, so what do y'all think? Like, I know they went, for people watching, in the same crew, went to the same high school, had the Kango Crew. Because Naomi is like really breaking this shit down to me. Like, well, couldn't they have been in the same crew when he didn't have to act like he was from London? Like, did the other people in the crew all act like they was from London? I was like, I don't know. Like, now I'm thinking, I'm like, well, I don't know the other people in the Kango Crew. I just know Slick and Dave. So I never thought at the time like that it was a blatant fight. But out the mouth of Babes, I'm like, well, was it? Like, did Rick really feel like, was Rick looking at Dana like, nigga, stop sounding like me? Because here's the thing, we never got a Dana Dane Slick Rick collab. So if y'all in the same crew, it's hard for me to say me and Gnu run with the same crew, but you know, I got dreads just like Gnu. I talk like Gnu. I want to be from Jersey like Gnu. You know what I mean? But you know, we never collab on nothing. It's like, well, is Gnu really cool with that? Or, you know, so what did y'all think? You know, just real quick around the room, what did y'all think before versus Naomi's synopsis on?
I always thought that, and I always thought that was the elephant in the room between those two. Like nobody ever bought. Like there's no way that nobody else ever thought about that, man. I thought because they were cool and they were from the same crew that it was kind of okay. You know, Rick kind of gave them the, but I don't know, and no one's ever spoke on it. But I don't know. That's interesting, man. I don't know, man. What y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I never thought about it until they was like, yo, ain't that biting? Like, isn't that what you raised me not to do? And y'all just, Nate was like, y'all cool with this? Like, y'all let this slide? Okay, word? Okay.
Yeah, I never felt it, man. I agree with Nate, man. I think, you know, you can have your thing if you're in a group, man, but taking someone's style, especially if that ain't really how you rhyme, like, unless you intentionally trying to rhyme like that ain't your voice. Like, so to me, that's whack.
All right. So you were cool with it then, but now after Naomi's rethinking,
I was never cool with it.
You was never cool with it. Okay. See, that's the funny thing to me. I was cool. I think because it was a place of innocence. You know what I mean? I'm a little kid. So when I heard Nightmares and they're sampling the Monsters theme, I'm just like, oh, you know, this was still at a time when hip hop was cute, when you could sample TV things. You know, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble sampling I Dream of Jeannie. And it's like, that wasn't, that we was like, oh, that shit is dope. We wasn't like, oh, that's whack as shit. That's I Dream of Jeannie. So I literally never, ever thought about it until Naomi says something. I was like, wow. So it's like Gnu said, like, nobody ever brought this up. Like, there was never, throughout all these interviews, nobody was like, so Dane, nigga, why you sounding like Rick? Like, why are you acting like you? It's almost like somebody rap. Like, I don't know if this is true. The comedian Michael, what's his name? The one from Africa, Michael Blackson.
Michael Blackson.
Oh, Michael Blackson. Is he really from Africa?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because I didn't know. Because somebody said he
over there giving money to schools and everything in Africa now. I don't. You know what? I'm really not 100. I don't even.
See, because somebody told me like that ain't his accent. He just acted like that. So it's almost be like somebody rapping like. What'd you say?
He switches up some I've seen him talk regular like he's from Philly, but then he'll flip back into the African accent too. And
right. So it's just weird that that Dana Dane kept his whole London accent forever. Rel, what did you think about it growing up?
Yo, like, I was like, Nate, like, I was like, why does he sound like Slick? Is he from London? Like, I thought he was from London till like my cousin told me, nah, he not. Like, I thought he was from London because he sound like that. It was too simple. Now I think about it, now it's a little different than back then. Like, I was kind of cool with it back then, to be honest. Like, I wasn't really tripping. But now that I think about it, I'm like, damn, Like, has anybody said anything about that? Like, have we heard any?
I'm gonna have to do a YouTube dive because I've never heard anything, and I'm just like you. I thought he was from London too, and just thought it was a coincidence. Like, damn, these niggas both wear Kangols or whatever like that.
Yeah,
and for people out there may not know, this is Dana Dane with Fame right here. I thought he was from London too until I'm listening to Cinderfella, and he's like, "Yo, once upon a time, the project's called Fort Greene," and I'm like, "Wait a second, nigga, that's Brooklyn." Like, why you sound like this? And you nigga, I stay in Fort Greene. Like, fuck are you talking like? Why do you sound like this? And so,
and even a song like Cinderfella, even a song like Cinderfella sounds like a song Slick Rick would make. Like,
exactly.
I was just like, yeah, it was weird to me. Like that song, like the persona he was portraying in that song, like that's something Slick Rick would have made. So it was just like, I don't know, it was weird, man.
I wonder what his hood thought of him for doing that, like, because Fort Greene, you know what I mean?
I'm interested.
Fort Greene, you ain't thinking.
But again, I think at the time it may have been cool just because you a rapper, like, you know what I mean? Because this is still like you a celeb, you know what I mean? But I'm with you. I would be very interested to know what Fort Greene thought. Like, this nigga, JR, Vern, y'all was good with it? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, but obviously, you know, it's a lot of things that, you know, once you get older, like, you don't believe in Santa Claus no more.
Right. This nigga just compares. All right, JR.
I think now y'all answered the question why now my dad never liked Dana Dane.
That may be it.
I never knew why. And I used to be like, they kind of similar. He's like, I don't like him. And now it makes sense. And my dad loves Slick. So it was like them two sounding the same. Y'all just answered the question on why my dad didn't like Dana Dane. I always would ask him and he'd be like, nigga, whack. That's how he would say it. Like, for real. And that was all he would give me. And I'm like, why? Now makes sense.
Because I want to know who else was in the Kangol crew. You know what I mean? And did anybody else go with the fake English accent? Because again, if we all got a fitted crew and we all wear fitted hats, you know what I mean? I don't need to sound like JR or sound, you know what I mean? But neither here nor there. I want to be like with that. Eddie, I'm sorry, Gnu, you have an R&B person or are you just going with Slick?
Man, I haven't named any R&B people yet, but Jill Scott. I wanted to put. I don't know if anybody named her, but Jill Scott has always been one of the R&B favorite of mine. You know, Jilly from Philly, man.
Yeah. It's funny when we were doing a show about standing in the shadow of. I forgot to mention her because I was going to say I remember saying I had somebody who broke through the shadow, because remember we talked about how Erica was just blocking everybody, and it was shocking to me that Jill kind of nudged her way past Erica. You know what I mean? Because they're kind of very similar. I mean, when they did the verses, you know, it's a very
I got a tone that I agree with too. I never will forget this. Jill was on V103 in Atlanta. Y'all remember the chick that Cat Williams roasted?
Yes, Wanda.
So they played Getting in the Way, and Frank to cut the music off, and he asked, you know, him, and Wanda was like, "It's kind of Badu-ish." No, it is not. I can't stand when people do that. No, go ahead, JR.
I think Erica is bluesy to me. I mean, Erica.
Yep.
And Jill is jazzy.
Yep.
She's jazzy. So they completely attack songs so differently. And the only song that people can say that she can kind of give is You Got Me, because Jill wrote it. And right. That's it. Other than that, I don't hear no song that Jill can do that Erica will and Erica Twitch. It was just that whole neo soul mess. Everybody threw everybody in there, and that was it.
But that's what I mean. But remember with that show, we were talking about how it was going to be hard for anybody, a male, who's the Rashawn Patterson. Don't sound nothing like D'Angelo, but D'Angelo Maxwell was in his way. So it's not just about that they sound alike, but it's just at that time, it was going to be hard to be a male singer who in any way, shape, or form did any type of neo soul, whether it sounded just like, to even get past D'Angelo and Maxwell. You You know what I mean? So not that they necessarily sounded alike, but how we said Erykah blocked Adriana Evans. To me, Adriana Evans sounds nothing like Erykah Badu. But it's just the fact that Erykah is the boulder that's in the way. It's like anything neo soul. So not that they sounded alike, but just the fact that Jill was able to break through what Adriana and all those other female neo soul artists couldn't do. Amel LaRue couldn't blow because of Erykah Badu. Again, they don't sound nothing alike, but it's just the fact that, like you said, they got thrown in that neo soul tub. You know, but Jill actually was able to break through. And I mean, I know a lot of people who may prefer Jill to Erykah. You know,
I do.
You know what I mean? So again, that Jill is one of the few people who I can think of who broke through somebody standing in the way and may actually be larger than the person who was standing in the way. You know what I mean? And did it through an indie record label. Did it through Hidden Beach. It's not like this shit.
Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Charles.
It's not like she had J Records behind her. Like she on an independent label out of Philly, you know, and did that. But Eddie, who you got up next, good brother?
For hip hop, I'm going with Method Man, yo. Like Method Man had that dope, raspy, kind of gritty, but also smooth. You know what I mean? And I also love, right, because obviously his name Method Man. I also love, like, especially early on, where, you know, rappers always do the thing when breathing, but, you know, when he did it, it sounded like he was taking a pull from a blunt. But since he Method Man, he's, so, you know, smoker, right? It made it sound dope. You know what I mean? And you know, I think that kind of, to me, gave him that leg up, and of course his flow as well, right? You know, he had a really, really dope, smooth flow, but his voice kind of gave him the leg up to kind of be that star within Wu-Tang, even though, like, I feel like other MCs like Deck and GZA and Ray may have been better MCs technically, but, you know, and I feel like Meth got better technically, you know what I mean? But I feel like it was his voice and his flow and his charisma that really carried him to that star status.
Yeah, Meth had it. He had that it factor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And for R&B, I'll go with Sade, man. Sade got one of them voices, man. I could listen to. I could just listen to all day, man. And you know, like I think when we were talking about doing this show, like we talked about, all right, these don't have to be folks who are the best singers or whatnot, but I feel like she fits great in the dynamic of the group. You know what I mean? The moodiness, the melodicness, and you know, yeah, her voice is just it. Like, it's enough. You know, that's all I say about that.
No doubt. Dope pulls on both of them. Dope pulls. Bro, what you got up next, bro?
Hip hop, I am going MC Lyte.
Man, knocking me out the box, man.
you took two of mine. Freeway. You took Freeway from me. But Lyte, her voice is very distinctive. I mean, the very first time I heard her, hot damn hell, here we go again. And and then I mean, if you think how she came in on Self Destruction, funky press, just one press, ready to part. That voice, it punched you, but it was like high shrill and almost hoarse. You know, it's like her voice was straining or whatever, but that was Lyte, man. So you know Lyte when you hear her, and it's dope that she's transitioned from an MC to doing voiceovers for, you know, award shows and stuff. So that tells you that I ain't the only one that think her voice is dope. So that's MC Lyte. And then in R&B, I'm gonna go to this brother. He has got an open invitation to the barbecue. Michael McDonald.
God damn.
Oh, yeah.
So I forgot about Michael McDonald till I was listening to James Ingram today, and I was like, oh snap! I gotta put Mike on there. Yes. I don't know. Have y'all seen DJ Quick and Sugar T singing What a fool believes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's on YouTube or it was on Twitter or IG?
it's on Twitter. Yeah. So what he did, Quick said, "This is how Mike sounds without his mustache." He came from somewhere. And then when his mustache comes on, but Mike, man, I mean, what a fool believes. Taking it to the streets. I keep forgetting. Yamo be there.
yeah.
On my own with Patty. Shine Sweet Freedom, man. That song, Sweet Freedom from Running Scared soundtrack. Like that's a song that makes me feel like give me some hope in life. Just
Man, the Running Scared soundtrack. God bless the dead, Gregory Hines.
yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Running Scared. I ain't heard that in years.
But that Shine Sweet Freedom, that song, man, is just so hopeful. But man, Mike's voice, you know it the second that you hear it, and his range. Like, I mean, you don't get on a song with Patty unless you gonna do it. You don't get on a song with James Ingram unless you gonna do it. Then he did the whole Motown.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay. You talk on it.
And he did it his own way. Like I love how he did Distant Lover, and he did it his own way and murdered. Like,
Murdered.
oh God, you like, yeah, his voice is so like. As soon as he come in, you know it, and it's not no straining, it ain't forced, it's nothing. And he coming to sing for real.
Yeah.
So he redid all of, like, not all, but a Motown.
He got an album full of Motown cuts. Yeah.
He did like Stevie, he did Marvin, he did, he even did
I might have that one actually. I might have that on CD.
Isn't he from the Average White Band too?
He's from the Doobie Brothers.
I'm sorry, Doobie Brothers. Right.
Yeah.
You remember the first time you learned about bootlegging?
What's happening?
What's happening when rerun bootleg?
Yeah.
Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
Doobie Brothers, man. That's crazy. That's a dope pull.
Yeah,
That's a dope pull.
Yeah.
JR, what you got up next, bro? You know what? I forgot real quick about Light. One of the dopest joints, First Priority Basement Flavor. This was a compilation of First Priority, so that's Positive K, MC Light, Audio 2, The Alliance, This Me. This was the first thing off of this was I'm Not Having It, the MC Light and Pos K joint. MC Light has a joint on this called Survival of the Fittest. It's also on the second album, but it's a remix. I love this version so much better. Dog, she went in for 74 bars straight. First MC I heard did that. I say this and Kool G Rap's debut dropped in the same year. I don't know which one came first. G Rap, I think I don't even think it's 74 on Men at Work. G Rap put some work, but Light, 74 straight bars. I had never heard nothing like that before at that time, because you know you got your 16, your chorus 16. Light just went straight in with Survival of the Fittest. One of the greatest MCs ever, not just female MC, one of the greatest MCs, period, ever. JR, what you got up next?
I don't talk about him a lot, but I think everybody does. But he's a distinct voice. Teddy P.
Hell yeah.
You already gonna know when he coming in on the record. Like, that's why now him, you knew he was going solo, period. Like, you knew it was gonna happen.
But here's the thing. Walk me through this, because again, I'm getting old. I can't remember half my kids' names half the time. Teddy P was in
Harold Melvin,
the Blue Note. So he's not even the lead singer, which is Harold Melvin,
he was
correct?
Drama at first. He was the drama, and then he was the lead.
Yeah, because Harold Melvin was a hater.
A complete hater. He did not like, but Gamble and Huff was like, no, you ain't got it. He does. So we gonna give him these songs, and they blew up, but his name ain't even in it. But now when you get records now, it say Harold Melvin and the Blue Note featuring Teddy Pendergrass. Like, come on, you can't deny a voice like that. Like, come on, yo, like, nah.
All right, then what's your female?
Stephanie Mills.
Wonderful pick.
Stephanie Mills.
Man.
Like, you know her voice.
Bruh.
Like, ain't nobody like when she comes in to sing a record, you know it's Stephanie, and that's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think she gets a lot, and she deserves a lot more because a lot of people got deals from singing Home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we was introduced to Whitney Houston with her singing Home, so I'm like, Stephanie deserves a lot, but she just has that voice that just gets you right then and there. So,
bro, JR, she take you to the mountaintop on Never Knew Love like this, man.
Yeah. Listen,
she got a
R.I.P. to James and Tume. Like,
yeah.
All that he did for her, and it's so crazy that what's the name? Oh God, that used to do her demo. What's the lady name? Shoot, I forgot her name. But Stephanie Mills was like, she would sing those and she didn't really know them because she was like, I ain't know stuff like this. I'm young. You know what I'm saying? And the woman did her demo. I forgot what her name is. Tawatha.
Tawatha. I think that's what you were gonna say. Mtume, yeah. Tawatha.
She's dope too now. Like, she's dope. But yeah, you think that Stephanie was basically following her. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But did her own thing with it. I think that's dope. So I love Stephanie Mills.
Jay, are you listening to the Questlove with Stephanie Mills?
Yes, I did.
So many backstories that I never knew. Yeah.
He gave her a chance to talk.
Some of them I knew.
Stephanie got to talk.
Hey man, you go into it knowing that you gotta.
Yeah, when I'm listening to that, I already know what I'm dealing with, so I don't even get mad no more.
God bless y'all. JR, my mother was telling me once that she felt that Stephanie didn't blow up the way she should because Diana got the role for The Wiz when everybody thought Stephanie was going to get it from being on Broadway with the play, and that if she would have done The Wiz instead of Diana Ross, that her career would have taken off more. You agree, disagree?
I disagree because The Wiz didn't even do good, though.
The movie?
No, it didn't. It didn't do good when it came out. It didn't do great at all. Like, not do good at the box office at all. It was a failure, like, for real. Like, the only thing, because they thought Diana shouldn't have played it. She looked too old. So they got slammed for The Wiz. It's a cult classic for us, but mainstream-wise, it didn't do good at all. So Stephanie's career actually was fine because she did Never Knew Love Like This. So, what is it? What You Gonna Do With My Lovin'? She did that. And then she did Feel the Fire. So her hits was fine. It was by 83 coming around. It was like, this is experimental and they didn't know where to do. And then 84, 85, who comes along? Whitney.
Question, JR, just for shits and giggles. How old are you again?
36.
I swear, nigga, you have got to tell me how the fuck, what you need to go back in time. Because I need to go back in time and play some bets.
That's what I call them.
Yeah, the flux capacitor. I need to know where are you getting the 20,000 volts for the flex capacitor, because this nigga is like half my age telling me about Stephanie Mills, and we all sitting here like The Wiz didn't do good, nigga. We all older than you. How the fuck do you know The Wiz ain't do good, nigga? I thought this shit was all over the place. You could have told me The Wiz with a fucking Oscar. Word. They do nothing. Like, nigga, you wasn't even alive. How the fuck do you know this shit?
I know the docs, and then Quincy talked about it in his documentary and all that. That's why it worked with Michael going in, because he was the focus of the movie. Really, people was like he was the best thing of coming from the movie. Everything else, they bombed it.
Wow. No idea. I thought it was the shit all over the place.
Oh yeah, we love it. But the mainstream world did not like it at all.
It's black famous.
The only thing I know about The Wiz, I ain't want to take a subway for about the next 5 years because I was 6 when I saw that shit. That shit the fuck out of me. My mom tried to take me down the subway. I'm like, fuck no, nigga. You your rabbit ass mind. I ain't going down them steps. You ain't seen The Wiz? Fuck wrong with you? Trying to kill me out here. Bro, what you got up next, bro?
Yo, I got my man B Real from Cypress Hill. Yo, man. Like, there's no voice like that, bro. Like, it's like I can't really describe like what that
It's
is
nasal.
like,
It's like a
nasal,
nasal voice.
high pitched nasal voice. And for the when they first came out, I didn't know where they was from. Like, I thought they were from New York, to be honest with you.
No, there's a part. I thought they was from Brooklyn, Cypress Hill, Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Brooklyn
I did not
Cypress
know.
Hill.
Yeah, I didn't know, that they were from the West Coast. But yeah, when they came out, like, I heard his voice, I was like, yeah, this is some shit I ain't never heard. And then the beats was so, I don't know, the beats was crazy, and they came out with How I Could Just Kill a Man and all, like, you know what I'm saying? They was on some they was on some other shit, man. They was fire though, like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they don't really get talked about like that. But they was dope, man. And his voice was like, one of the most distinct voices in hip hop. Period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Shot.
And then with that Latino shit mixed in with the gang culture, it was just like a whole nother level.
Yeah, yep.
I think would be real, man. I mean, I know just for me personally, like, the first album is a classic to me. I love that first album. Second album, Black Sunday, it was dope, but I think for me at least, like, they just lost my attention. I can't say they fell off, but they lost my attention after that. Like the Insane in the Membrane, I was like, yeah. And again, me being at Morgan at that time and being on the radio, like, we would never play Insane in the Membrane on 889 because it was an underground station. So for me, if we're not playing it, then that shit is pop. But again, I'm in my radio mind. So not saying that's what anybody else felt. Niggas may have loved Insane in the Membrane, but to me, it was like, are we playing this? Nope. Well, then that shit is pop. We had our competition was 92Q. They had a show called Rap Attack. So we'd always be like, let Rap Attack play that shit. Like, we'll play the underground shit. So that's what it was for me. But yeah, I had Be Real on my list too, because Be Real was Funky Phil one was crazy when that first dropped.
Yes, the Funky
and it was crazy because I didn't realize they were saying how the album wasn't doing good at all. Like, and then Juice came out. And if you remember in Juice, in that elevator scene, they played How I Could Just Kill a Man. And they said, like, after that opening weekend, the record just couldn't stay on shelves after that. So Cypress is like, we owe all of our success to Juice because niggas wasn't even fucking with us before Juice. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy how, like, the smallest thing, you don't put How I Could Just Kill a Man in Juice, we may not be talking about Cypress Hill right now. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Speaking of Juice, did y'all see that Rakim said he played the drums?
Yeah.
For the Ledge? That's mind blowing to me, man. Number one, because I swear it's credited to the Bomb Squad. I've been giving the Bomb Squad credit all these years for Know the Ledge, and Rakim's like, nah, I found a record with the bass line, then I told my man Mike, mic them drums up, and I played the drums. I'm like, damn. So, not only a dope MC, but a dope producer, man. You got an R&B person, Ralph?
No.
All right. The next person I got, we could just go with the best who ever did it, in my opinion, Biggie. You know what I mean? Big just had that voice, man. You know what I mean? From the first time I heard Party and Bullshit. I mean, Gnu, I remember I'm on Lock Raven. We coming back from a party or something. And before I got up 889, they was playing that Party and Bullshit. We was like, yo, who the fuck is that? Like, yo, this dude nice. And then you just kept hearing Dreams of Fucking R&B Bitch and Come On Motherfucker, Come On with Sadat X and The What with Meth. And, Big just had that voice. It's kind of like Eddie was talking about, like, how he would breathe. Like, you would hear Big's breathing, and it's just incredible, man. Just, one of the best who ever did it. Good news. Oh, and on the R&B tip, I'm gonna go with Shantae Moore, man. Like, Shantae Moore just has a beautiful voice, and she can sing. You know what I mean? She's on that Minnie Riperton. I don't even know what you call that tip. Whatever tip that is, but just a beautiful voice. And she could sing her ass off, so definitely.
Hey, Kill. I wanna add on to what you were saying about Biggie. I know we had the episode about executive producer. We were talking about coaching artists, and if you think about it, right, look at Party and Bullshit, Biggie, right, and all them early features and tracks, right, and then what he kind of evolved to. Ready to Die and then Life After Death, and I feel like that's all Puff because he wasn't really utilizing his voice to his full potential on them early songs. You know what I mean? And if you look at the hits and the joints that we love, he is. You know, like Party and Bullshit, he was like he wasn't really utilized. It was a lot more high pitch kind of, you know, not high pitch, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you're saying. I just don't know if I can give it to Puff. Not saying I don't want to give the hit making to Puff, but I've always been intrigued the same way with Buckshot. I say it all the time. Ready to Die, End of the Stage. Two of the few albums that I know of where you can actually hear an MC sound different. Because when you hear Give Me the Loot, that sounds totally different than Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering where did that come from? And I don't know if Puff is the one they'll do Juicy, yo, rhyme over this. But I'm curious as to know who got him rhyming from, you know, Everyday Struggle to Live from Bedford Stuyvesant, The Live is One, Represent BK. Like, it just became more this effortless flow where it was like this hard flow with Warner. Because keep in mind, I loved all those early bigs. I love Come On Motherfuckers, Come On. Like, yo, I got 11.
I was thinking about that when you said hard flow.
I love like that. I got 11 Mac 11s, about 8 38s, 9 10s, Mac 10s and shit never end. You couldn't touch my wrist. Like, I love that big too. But I also love the other big. So I agree with you that Puff put him in a position to rhyme over this. But I'm really intrigued. Like, why did you stop rhyming like this and start rhyming like that? You know, and that may be a question we never know. It's crazy because Lil C's is still doing interviews 50 years later. But that's the question I would ask Lil C's. I ain't got nothing else to ask you, nigga, except why did Big stop rhyming like this and start rhyming like this? And maybe, you know, because I feel like that's something that maybe you pick up from another MC. Like, I just don't think Puff can coach you to stop rhyming like this and start rhyming like this. But maybe he can. I could be 100% wrong. Maybe
it was just his evolution. Like, I mean, you know, after doing song after song after song, repetition after repetition, I mean, it just becomes like second nature. So you're seeing the evolution of like Give Me the Loot and stuff like that. Those hardcore flows was like early records, and then as he's progressing and getting better, more comfortable behind the mic, and you know, and in what he's saying, you get Live from Bedford Stuyvesant, The Live is One. I'm just like you said, it's effortless on that joint, man.
Right. I'm just interested in how because I don't rap, so it's out of ignorance for me. But where does that evolution come from? And because most people don't go through it. Like, most albums you put on, if you put on The Shining, niggas is rhyming the same way all the way through. Like, if you put on Camp Lo, niggas is like, End of the Stage is like, you hear How Many MCs Buckshot don't sound shit like not How Many MCs, I'm sorry, Who Got the Props Buckshot doesn't sound anything like How Many MCs. Like, you could kind of tell, like, with that the Bring It Back, Come Follow Me, like, that's where he was going into those Got You Open remix and, you know, Buck 'Em Down remix. But again, but most MCs don't really go through that evolution. AZ rhymed the same exact way AZ rhymed on Life's a Bitch 30 years later. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying most MCs keep the same style. Most MCs
I've heard evolve. Yeah. I've heard MCs go through and I don't have examples in my head right now, but I've heard it, but not on the same album, you know? Like, you could hear like early stuff. I even heard like I want to say like early Eminem stuff, he sounded different too, you know? But you know, there have been MCs who like their real early stuff before they really blew up, and then they kind of hit.
But you know what, Eddie? That's a great point too, because I can say I heard these ultramagnetic demos before Critical Beatdown, and they sounded fucking horrible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I heard that.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference. Like Gnu, you know, when we was at Morgan, I don't know how you felt about your demos. My shits were not good at all. You know what I mean? Now, for a lot of these MCs, they're getting deals, and their album is their demo. You know what I mean? So you're right. Yeah. It may just be the evolution that we don't see, because by the time you evolved as an MC, you did it before you got a deal. So we didn't have to see you evolve because you evolved, you know, over here behind closed doors versus, you know, and even if that happened now, a lot of them big songs may have been trashed. We may have said, nah, screw half this album, throw that shit away. We like this new style. We just gonna start recording all over again. And I'm sure it probably was just something like, well, we ain't wasting all this money in the studio and Puff got to get something out, so we gonna do this. But that's a good point, Eddie, that maybe, and two, you also good news that we didn't get to see the evolution of a lot of these MCs. Same thing with BDP. I heard some early BDP demos. Were not great. They were not criminal minded. They were not The Bridge Is Over. You know what I mean? So, but of course, this is stuff we heard before. And I was saying this about Jay-Z too, because this guy was knocking Jay, and I said, here's the problem. Jay was making demos with Jazz. You know what I mean? So he was going through his styles to finally get to where he was at in front of our face, where normally we go through finding out who we are before we get a deal. Like we find out who we are as men before we get married. Well, some people do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like before we say I do, where there's other men who like get married out, they still be fucking up and fucking around and shit like that. So it may just be that shit, like you said, they evolve behind closed doors, and by the time we get them, they're already the polished version, where people like Big and Buck may not have just already been the polished version, because the unpolished version was still dope. Like that may be the difference. The unpolished version of me was whack as shit. So, you know, I wasn't getting no deal, but the unpolished version of Big was, if he kept rhyming like "Give Me the Loot," I would have been fine with that. I love "Give Me the Loot." I love the old Big, you know? So again, his unpolished was just so dope that he could get a deal off of that, whereas a lot of people's unpolished stuff wasn't dope enough. So dope points. I don't even know who I was on. Vern, is it you now? Or is it you, Eddie? I said Big. So we can go back to Gnu then.
Yeah. All right, well, since we talk about evolution and MCs evolving, I definitely got to give it up to my man, Busta Rhymes, the mighty Infamous. You know what I mean? And I heard that even before Busta Rhymes was rhyming, he was like a reggae artist. I mean, I heard that. Like, yeah, I heard he was on some like reggae shit before he got into hip hop, man. But Busta Rhymes, man, if you look at him from Leaders of the New School, Case of the PTA, and you know he used to rhyme real fast, and he had the rhyme, the Dungeon Drag. He's the guy that like used every octave of his voice, every like he just really uses his voice as an instrument, because even with sounds, he does it all for you, man. But when we talk about evolution, man, up until Busta Rhymes, I really couldn't understand him on those first couple of Leaders albums. Like, you really had to really tune in and listen, and you're like, oh, okay, he is saying some shit. I loved all the animation and all that, but when he came out with Hands Where My Eyes Could See, and he slowed his shit down, still had the powerful voice, but now it's smoother. It's a slow flow. Now you're understanding, you're catching everything that he's saying. And it was just like, wow, yo, do you hear how this nigga sound now? Like, I thought like that was like, when I first heard Hands Where My Eyes Could See, I later grew to like hate the fucking record from hearing it so fucking much. Right. But like, when I first heard the record, I didn't even know it was Bus.
Right.
I was like,
a whole new style.
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck is that? Matter of fact, I remember when we first heard it, my man was like, yo, man, turn that shit off, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was like, yo, what is this shit? But then when I heard it again, I was like, yo, wait a minute, man, that's fucking Busta Rhymes, yo. So, yeah, man, his voice is real powerful, man. Like I said, he uses it. He like, I don't know, Busta Rhymes. Y'all already know, man. Like,
yeah, hey, good news. That feminine fat, bro. He was styling on that one.
Right, that shit was sounding the Zekas, man. Sounding. But and again, I posted this a while ago. Very dope album. If it didn't have 142 songs on it, to me, this would have just. And then a week later, he came out with the extended version with 182 songs.
35 more songs.
Right, like with 182 songs on it. But again, we give Nas all this love for still being able to do this. This was a very, very dope album. If he would have cut this down to the top 12 or 14 best joints, this may be teetering on a 5 mic classic, because there's some bangers on here. So I love that we give Nas love, but we can't sit here and act like Busta is still not dropping bangers. And then keeping in mind all the journey Busta's been through. He's been on Aftermath with Dre. He went down south with Lil Wayne and them. And, you know, like he's been around and all over, like the new set with his voice. Yo, and then you listen to It's a Party with John A, and that nigga chilling. He just right here. He ain't over the top. He's staying right there. So he can do it all. He, you know, he's Swiss Army knife. What you gonna say, Vern?
He gotta watch the 5 Heartbeats. He sabotaged that album that you're talking about, Kill.
What's that?
Because he told us that it's the greatest album ever on God's creation. And it's like, you know, it's like these two groups, they say they're better than the 4 tops and the 4 tops and the 5 and the Temptations combined. Don't tell me it's the greatest album ever. Come on, man. Let me tell you.
That's real.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you, but you know, rap niggas gonna do rap nigga shit. And you know, rap nigga shit is, nigga, this is the best fucking album in the world you ever heard. You know what I mean? And again, part of me, I can't be mad at it. It's like talk your shit, but you just gotta be able to back it up. And like I said, for me, it was good. It was just 182 songs. So it was just like, I'm looking at the track list and that shit get me like a headache. I'm like, yo, when I see stuff and it's like over 20 songs, I'm like, damn, bro. Like me and Nate was listening to SZA album. I'm like, how many songs are in here? 24.
Yeah.
Is that a double album? I still haven't even listened to all of Donda. I know we've canceled Jay, but I still haven't even got past that because it was like 32 songs. Like I ain't get past 11, I don't even think. So we gotta chill with so many songs. This is not 1995 when we got CDs and it was like, ooh, we got 80 minutes and we gotta use every 80. We gotta make this album 79.59. Like you don't have to use the whole CD just because you got 80 minutes. You can still make it 60 and save us 20 minutes. But niggas was going for we want that whole 79.59 thing right there. So definitely a dope pull with Bus. Eddie, who you got up, man?
Yo, man, I'm going with Big Pun, man. Big Pun, like he just has so much weight to his voice, and that's the term I'm using.
This nigga said he has so much weight. This nigga just said he had so much weight to his voice. Eddie don't give a fuck. This nigga said, hey, I know he died because he was fat, but there was so much weight to his voice.
I mean, no pun intended.
Fuck your couch, man.
That, and even saying that, no pun intended, he's Big Pun.
Yo, this nigga's at the Improv. Eddie's at the Improv tonight, y'all. This nigga this is comedian outing right here.
Hey, Kill.
Right. There you go, right there.
But yeah, man, his you know, his voice, like his tone, like we've been talking about the command to his voice, like, you know, and we know he was writing for Fat Joe, and even on the tracks together, right? Even though he writing for Fat Joe, like he still clearly outshined Fat Joe. A lot of that was voice, but also like his just rhyming ability, man. But like he gets on a track, like no matter who he's rhyming with, like he's like straight off the bat, like you're gonna know, like he's on there, like you're gonna feel his presence straight off the rip. And he could spit crazy bars and, you know, multi-syllabistic, you know, all that, which is crazy, you know. So definitely Big Pun. And for R&B, I think I'm gonna go with Anthony Hamilton.
No fool.
I love Anthony Hamilton. Like he sound like
collard greens.
Dude, like he sound like, you know what I mean?
Great adjective, Vern. Great adjective.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Like he got so much, you know, characteristic to it. You know what I mean? Like he ain't always the cleanest, you know, although he could do that, but you know, like he gives you all his emotion in that voice, you know, with that little bit of grittiness too. So it just suits kind of his style very perfectly, I think.
That's dope. Vern, who you got up for your last draw?
We on 4 or 5?
We on 5. But I mean, you know, we got honorable mentions.
No, we're on 4.
We on 4? All right.
Mm-hmm. Man, since y'all took a lot of my other folks, I had to grab some more. Snoop.
Okay.
From the moment we heard him on Deep Cover,
Yep.
it's a syrupy, sing-songy, distinct thing, and he mastered the style and laid in it.
He said, "Sir."
It's
Yo, I'm
syrupy.
telling you, Vern got the adjectives night, bro, man. This nigga must have been playing some goddamn fucking Scrabble or something this week, because he ain't came with
Yeah.
an adjective for everything.
My wife didn't play Scrabble last week though.
See, look, this nigga like syrupy. This nigga say like an uncle. This nigga finding something. He gonna find something to put your name, your voice to.
Like we talked last week about posse cuts, and just think about what he did on Stranded on Death Row. I'm not. Snoop had that style, and he still does. I mean, it's amazing how his career has evolved to where it is. I mean, he's America's favorite rapper, and I'm talking about Mid America and White America. But so yeah, I would say Snoop on the R&B. I mean on the hip hop. And JR, let's go ahead and pay homage.
Go ahead.
No, I need you to chime in too.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so me and JR been talking all this week, Kill.
These niggas really playing spades. Like these niggas are really fucking talking off the table.
These niggas are winning teamed up like the Rockers.
These niggas that we talking all week. Like, yo, we gonna do this all week. We gonna
kill him on the R&B section.
These niggas are tag team partners. They like, yo, I'm gonna hit him with the leg drop, and then you come back.
Goddamn Heart Foundation over here, huh?
Yeah, I ain't been texting nobody
You said the
all
Rockers.
week. Ain't
Remember
nobody
when them
texting
Rockers
me
got
all
thrown
damn
through a
week.
glass window?
Because we always cutting each other's cards.
We can throw each other's cards out. So
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
all right, y'all.
Yep.
Well, a good spades partner don't gotta talk.
Hey, well, I guess we ain't no good space
We-
partner.
Game partners.
So this person, I got to start off by saying my sister is an excellent choir director all over Atlanta. You know, she's taking choirs to Italy and all this stuff, and she is my gospel and singing JR. Like I go to her, like, why is this person dope or not? So I should have known when my sister. I saw the expression my sister made when Brandy said, "Wanna be, got to be down." She was a problem. And I said, Sean, why is Brandy so dope? And she said, well, first of all, if you listen to the growth of her voice from that debut album to 7, it's just ridiculous. So my sister said, she's dope because her tone, her placement, and her accents. She can sing straight riffs and runs, but she don't choke out the song.
Yes.
She has her range is first alto, and she knows her range, so she can go all the way to the top of that and all the way to the bottom of it. So I've been studying Brandy this week, and I've been listening to songs where she's playing ping pong. It's like a Wu-Tang, but it's just her. So like she'll sing a low bottom register alto on the first part of the verse, and then go to the middle, and then to the high, and then in the end take it all the way up. And Brandy has almost a hoarse kind of voice at times, but she knows it. She masters it. You see, just the way she ping pongs, man. She's incredible to me, man. And I didn't realize how much of a fan of Brandy I was till you gave us this subject, Kill. Bruh, it's. Go ahead, Jay. I'm at a loss.
Brandy is a monster, and one of my people was asking me, he's like, "Yo, you really think Brandy can sing?" I said, "Nigga, like, you know what I mean?" But again, I get it. Tanya's a singer. There's a lot of singers that, because R&B isn't my first love, I'm not diving deep into it. So probably before meeting JR and then me and T listening to more Brandy and stuff like that, it's kind of just like you're just listening. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, she can sing, but everybody can sing.
Great point, Great point. So, in that for JR, I listen not to listen to the song, but listen technically.
And that's the difference.
Yes.
That's the difference. And when you're just listening to the song, it sounds, oh, it's cool. Like she's doing what she's supposed to do. But no, listen specifically to her.
Yeah.
Like T will have to show me things that she's doing. Like, no, listen to what she's doing right here. And I'm like, yo, if you didn't point that out, I wouldn't have even. It's almost like somebody listening to lyrics and then like, I forgot which Stove guy said. He said something like, I'm not done till I put the last O in. Yeah, that nigga got heart, but is he brother Owen? You know what I mean? Now somebody else that goes over their head, and I'm like, no, he's talking about the Owen is the ounce in. So I'm not stopping trying to put the last ounce in. Do you got? Yeah, they say he got heart, but is he brother Owen? That's the That's the heart foundation. So somebody just listening is like, what was that? And it's like, no, nigga, like let me connect the dots for you. It's the same thing with singing. Like you sometimes need a singer or somebody who knows what they're doing to connect the dots for you to really see. Like, oh shit, I ain't know that's what I ain't know that's what he was saying.
Like how you tell me about Dilla. Like a producer gets, man, did you hear what you're hearing ain't what you think you're hearing. It's this,
Right.
this. So go ahead, Jay.
Oh, but Brandy has an ear. Her ear is nuts because she'll know when to come in with a run at the right time. Like, you know, now the girls are think now just run all over the place because of her, but they not realizing she's doing it because she know it's the right time to do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And you can, like you said, it's the growth because her first album, Brandy just came in singing. That's all it was. She came in singing. They didn't let her do her own stacking. They didn't let her do nothing. But once we started seeing that growth, and once she got the full moon, it was a wrap. Like, it was a done deal. It was like, then her voice became fuller and a little darker, so she knew how to work with that. So it was just like that girl knows how to work with her voice, and technically she's just great. Like, you can't deny it. Like, I hate when people be like, yo, she can't sing. I'm like, y'all not hearing what she's doing vocally. You know what I mean? Like, I know people give her a lot with the vocal Bible. I do too, because I mean, But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, I get why they give her that title, because the technical stuff that she do, ain't nobody doing it, and her tone is one of the tones in the game, period. Ain't nobody got a tone like her. You know what I mean? That's what Whitney really loved about Brandy. She was like, it's something about her tone, hell, a little better than mine. Like, she was like, that girl's tone is nothing to play with. So
What did you just say, JR?
The voice said...
Yeah. So I mean that should tell you right there.
Play with.
I'll tell you all this. For people who don't know about Brandy, go to YouTube, put in Brandy Rather Be /Color Show.
Oh.
And just sit back and be prepared for class. Class is now, like Chill Rob G said, shout out to Jersey, class is in session. Just listen to her sing Rather Be. Again, problem. Real serious problem. So definitely.
So JR sent me 3 songs that I'd never heard from Brandy, and then sent me a whole unreleased album. And I'm not lying to y'all. This is not hyperbole. Because my mind was open on the technical side, I heard a couple of songs that like almost made me cry, because just the technical beauty of her voice and what she was doing, man. Like you know how
this nigga got an unreleased Brandy album?
Yeah, man.
Nigga, you went to the future? This motherfucker go to the past and the future?
Kill these niggas is crazy. These niggas.
How you get an unreleased? It's my show and y'all niggas don't even text me no shit.
So I guess he found it on YouTube. I guess he found it. I didn't know how you felt about him, but JR sent that to him.
It's cool. Now it's not you, Vernon. It's this nigga right there to the left. This nigga got an unreleased Brandy album.
I do not. First of all, obviously, when you do albums, it's like 5 or 6 songs that don't make it. So it's like they put it out on it's called it's on you. What was it called, Vern?
Let me tell you, JR.
Now he playing dumb real. Now he like, I don't even know the name.
On that for real, so you can keep that funk over there. But,
I'm joking with you, nigga.
But no, like for real, like I found that like maybe like 5 years ago, honestly. And Vern hit me and was like, yo, he was asking about this Brandy stuff, and I was like, yo, let me send this to him because it was during the Human era when nobody really was rocking with her like that. So, because anytime I discussed that album, people kind of shit on it. So I was like, I don't know if people gonna rock with it. And when I sent it to Vern, I was like, let me see. And remember, Vern, I hit you. I was like, oh, you like it?
Man, what?
Because a lot of people don't. I send it to them, they be like, that shit, nah, I'm good.
It's called, it's Brandy Human Unreleased. That's what it's called on YouTube. Brandy Human Unreleased full album.
Yep.
All right. I see it now. I see it.
got
it. Okay. All right. Cool. So JR, what you got left?
I got Rasan Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke on. That dude, man, he's just all his influences up in there. You can see what it is. Like, dude been singing since he was like 3 years old.
Kids Incorporated. Do y'all remember that show?
Yes.
He was on Kids Incorporated?
Yeah.
Kids Incorporated, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he just, Rasan just sings and he's happy where he is. He ain't with that man. So he's happy where he is. You know what I mean? Because his debut album is a freaking classic for real. This is like come over and spend the night and oh man, listen, I've been a fan of this dude. Like vocally, he's nothing to play with. Like when you got the legends like Shaka and Aretha loved them and Gladys and Patty, they love Rasan. Like
JR, when Rochelle Farrell was at my office, that's who she talked about.
She loves Rasan. Yes.
Yeah.
And y'all know she got an instrument in her.
Yeah, man.
So when she sits up there and talks about him being that dope, like Shaka was like, when she was on her interview with Lunel, she was like, I would want to do a duet with Rasan Patterson. That's how dope he is. So I have Rasan there, and then we have Brandy, but I have one female that nobody talks about in this Edna Wright from Honeycomb. And
One Ants? Honeycomb?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, from where y'all know One Ass, Stick Up, all that. I think her voice is she's the sister of Darlene Love. I don't know who that is. But her voice to me, it captivates you. Like it gets you right there. Like when she sings, and it's like you want to listen to her. You know what I'm saying? And I love how Jimmy Jam said on the episode, he was like, you know, when they say Whitney is an artist that you want to listen to, and he said Janet is a person you want to sing along to, I think Edna was the person that you want to listen to. And I love her voice because it's just so, it gets you right there. So I think I like her. I like her voice.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, what you got up?
I got Eazy-E.
Okay.
I got Eazy-E, man. Like, you know, with NWA, you had questions of who was really gangster, who was really in the streets and all that. He was really in the streets, and he sounded like he's 13. Like his voice, you know what I'm saying? His voice was but that was the charm of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
the funniest thing is, I always thought Easy was the fakest one of all of them. It turns out that he was the realest one.
That's what I'm saying. That's the irony of his voice being so like kid-like, you know what I'm saying? That he was really official, like he was really the one in the streets, really doing what they talked about. So, and I just, you know, whenever he came on the songs, like, you know what I mean, even though he couldn't write the song, like they wrote his lyrics for him, but it was that voice was what got him over, you know what I'm saying? That voice is what added to. Like I know on Straight Outta Compton, like when he came on, like that shit was fire, you know what I'm saying? And it's just his voice sounded like a little kid, but talking all this gangster, you know what I'm saying? Talking all this gangster shit and really being about it, you know what I'm saying? So I went with Easy.
All right, no doubt. My honorable mentions, I got Pusha T. You know, I love Pusha's voice. You know what I mean? I got Lauryn Hill. I got Rock Marcy and Stove Guy. All just, you know, distinct voices. On the R&B side, I got one of my favorite singers ever, Raphael Sadiq. You know what I mean? His voice is very different. It's a very slept on album. A lot of people didn't mess with this joint, but I love This joint right here, Jimmy Lee.
Lucy Pearl.
Yeah, Lucy Pearl. And I know we cut her off because of Trump, but Chrisette Michelle, she always to me had a dope voice.
I still rock Chrisette Michelle. She's gonna sing the song when my daughter gets married. The first song. That's so stupid, man. She got.
I'm sorry, your daughter's getting married. She's engaged.
No. When
I'm like, I ain't get that text either. I ain't get the Randy text. I ain't get the engagement text.
No, when she gets married, our first song is gonna be to Your Joy. You know, I'll always be your father. Yeah, that's gonna be our song. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I had left on that. Bro, you got any other people left?
Somebody say DMX.
Nope.
Nah, but that's a great poll.
Yeah, got DMX. Kind of self-explanatory. I remember Get At Me, Dog. Like, I ain't even really like it when I first heard it. Like, but I really did. But it grew. Like, everybody else around me loved it, and that shit just grew on me. And you know, that album was fire. And his voice, you know, another voice. Like when you hear it, you know that it's him. And I was gonna say Push too. Like, I can't really even describe his voice, man. It's like,
well, then let's go to our resident adjective creator, Vern. How would you describe
Pusha voice?
It's piercing.
Okay.
Yo, we about to go on a game show, man. We need some adjectives, boy. Y'all better.
It's riveting.
All you young folks in college, you need adjectives, man. Forget the poster. You better get at him for some adjectives for your paper. That nigga said it's piercing. It's piercing, but not involuntary. It kind of wonderful. It's not an involuntary piercing. This like he's not doing it on purpose.
Oh, so yeah. Okay. Piercing. I got you. All right. Anybody say Chuck D?
Nope.
No, but that's a great poll too.
That's another one. Like, Chuck D sound like, like, how can I put this? Like, not like he's yelling at you, but like he's scolding you. Like, yo, like.
Well, he said his dad would be yelling, and that's he's yelling. They have to come running. So there you go. Like it does sound like he's yelling.
Yeah, like yo, it's like his rhymes look like he's pointing at me like yo,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like listen to, you know what I'm saying? And then over those bumps, over those beats, this is like punching you in the face. You know what I'm saying? And damn, who was my last one? Dang, I had one more and I forgot. Come back to
all right,
but
we'll come back to you if you remember it. JR, what you got left, bro?
Layla Hathaway. She's self-explanatory.
But I'll explain when I get to me. Go ahead though.
Oh yeah, after this, you got it. Layla. I was gonna Maxwell. Eddie Levert. And I couldn't leave without. We talking about voices. I couldn't leave without talking about Gladys. For real?
Yeah.
Are we kidding? Yeah. So glad those are my, the rest that I got. But I couldn't leave without talking about Gladys. That voice is everything. So yeah.
It's funny, Vern, because when you were talking about the next in the lineage of Levi, I thought you were gonna say Eddie Levert.
I can see that, but I think Eddie is more his dad.
Okay. Makes sense.
I'm not sure. I'm
probably just thinking.
Eddie is the dad. My bad. What am I?
Yeah, I'm like.
I meant Gerald. Y'all know what I meant.
Yeah.
Gerald. But it's probably because on that standing in the shadows, he's singing. I'll be there. So that's probably why I always put Gerald to the Four Tops, and I thought he sounded good, but neither here nor there. I'm sorry, bro.
How is he doing?
Who?
Eddie.
How did he do?
How is he doing?
I haven't heard anything. JR, I mean, he's already been to the future, so is he good?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't.
Okay. This nigga just be time traveling through the fucking week, like just randomness and shit. Like, this nigga just be back and forth and back. And
somebody tried to start a rumor that he passed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I
Al
asked.
Shore, honestly, it was him.
Albie Shore did that?
Yes. And they got it bad. Like, and
Huh?
he deleted
Hold on, what?
all that. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But
Damn.
All right. So on the hip hop, y'all name everybody. I'm gonna throw Brother J from X.
Brother Jay.
Yeah. Very commanding, booming, distinctive, clear voice. Here go my honorable mentions on the R&B, and then I'm gonna talk about my girl, Karen Carpenter.
we talking about them too?
Hey,
I
I consider that
What group is this from?
the Carpenters.
White
You heard
people.
the white people, yes. And she a bad drummer. And she a bad drummer too. Just
Yeah.
they long to be close to you. Superstar. Yeah, we've only just begun.
Yesterday.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
All right,
I
it's
just
all good. It's all
I just
good.
need the memo. This is why I love the show, because I get to learn too. So this is why people at home can't act like y'all don't learn that, because I learn something every day. I didn't know the Carpenters was dope like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh, so what they do for me is when I hear the Carpenters, I think about riding the bus downtown with my grandmother when I'm like 5. It's a time capsule. Takes me back straight to the 70s.
Okay.
All right. Another white boy that's dope. Go ahead.
Original superstar.
With Superstar, that's what I said. Yeah.
I didn't realize they sung the original Superstar. I listened to it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mhm. James Taylor is a bad boy, white boy from North Carolina.
Oh, okay, bro. You're not playing. All right.
I don't play, man. They kicked me out of recess, man.
I'll play. He's with the Taylor gang. This is with
How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Well, no, because y'all said Karen Carpenter. Now I said who's she with? Y'all said the Carpenters. Like I was retarded. So I'm just gonna assume right now that he's down with the Taylor gang. Or is he not in a group?
He's not in a
He's
group.
not in a group.
Okay.
Oh man.
He's more folk,
man.
but I just threw him out. All right. 2 more honorable mentions, and then my last person. Olita Adams, man.
Listen.
The tone in her voice.
Is that B here?
Yeah, get here if you
Okay.
can.
Okay, I'm good.
She killed Woman in Chains with Tears for Fears.
Yes.
The Rhythm of Life is the illest song ever, and she got a gospel song called Holy is the Lamb. That voice, man, it sounds like graham crackers,
This nigga said graham crackers.
Like graham crackers.
I don't even know what a graham cracker
Wait,
sound like. Nigga, they got a sound to him. This nigga she sound like a whisper, like the wind. I'm like, nigga, wind sound like something?
yeah. She sound like graham crackers taste. It's just a wholesome.
This nigga is on fire. Hey,
Yeah.
this nigga on war.
This nigga just said no guy and said, well, she sound like it tastes. Nigga, what? Even more confused.
2 different senses. She sounds like graham crackers taste.
Like, what?
That nigga, yo,
Burns is on tonight. Burn came on here today and he said, this is what happens. He said, I'm coming for the collection plate this week. That's what he said. He came in here to show that he's smarter than everybody on this goddamn panel. This nigga said, Felipe win. This nigga done went to Mexico. He done came back to motherfucking the Carpenters. We don't go white people to the cookout. This nigga said, I'm gonna show everybody I know my shit this week. This nigga
got range, bro. This nigga
Right.
said Karen Carpenter.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Goddamn.
Now I won't shy away from that.
Talk about
Right,
I
bro.
won't shy
That's
away from
range.
that. My between my parents and my uncle, I got the 64 color box of crayons, dog.
Nah, bro. One of my favorite
No.
groups is the Red. This ain't about that. I just didn't know that Karen Carpenter. One, I didn't know the Carpenters were that dope. 2, Karen Carpenter sounds like somebody who drove like one of them old Brady Bunch cars. So I'm just thinking Brady Bunch.
Yeah, well, actually, she does that. That sound puts you in the mind of the Brady Bunch. So you're on point, and she's an ill drummer too.
I had no idea.
So,
And she played drums.
It's soothing, man. Like if your baby,
I got it. Here's the adjective, Rel. She's like a lozenge. It's soothing to your throat. It's a lozenge. There you go. I'm with you, Vern. Just give me enough time, and I'm gonna pick up on it. I'm gonna pick up on it. She's a lozenge.
Ricola.
Ricola.
There you go. When that nigga said soothing, I said, "Oh, soothing to the throat."
Yeah, man.
We getting a lozenge.
So
Ricola.
speaking of soothing, Alex Isley voice is like fresh snow. It is so pure. So
that nigga, Vern really did work. This may be the most homework you've ever done in the history of Apartment 5B. This nigga did work. This nigga has an adjective for every. This nigga's like, her voice is like a light rain on a Indigo Jill Scott on a cumulus cloudy day. That's like on a cumulus cloudy day, a light wind. Like that nigga went in on this app, man.
Yeah, man. Alex Isley's voice is so pure. It's so pure and soothing, man. It's like I'm gonna give you another adjective. It's like, if you went into the deep forests of the tropical rainforest where no Westerners have ever been, the people are living like they were before they got tainted by modern. That's her voice. It's so untainted.
Pure and untouched, right? Yeah.
Like,
this nigga said it's like where people have never been. The nigga, how do we know what it's like? Because nobody been there. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna rock with you. This nigga's a time traveler. You and JR been hanging all week. I see y'all niggas been traveling through time and space, just going places human beings have never been.
And I know Aaliyah fans. I appreciate you and all that stuff. But listen to Alex redo her dad's song, "At Your Best, You Are Loved." Oh my God, bro. All right, now this is my fifth one. I just want you to hear this.
I just want everybody to understand that this man loves Boyz II Men. Him and Porsche are two of the biggest Boyz II Men fans that I know.
Oh yeah,
I want everybody and JR, just want to let everybody know that Vern decided to be Jodeci tonight because this nigga has named 48 people. Just want to put that fire out there. He gave 8 people. He's like, now here's my last one. Go ahead, Vern. Who you got left? Right. And what are they like? Give us the synonym first, and let us see if we can guess.
Oh man, I don't know. Layla Hathaway is just everything, bro.
Okay, all
right. Listen to this, man. When I heard this, I had my headphones on and I was asleep. But when I heard what she did, I woke up like, man, was I dreaming or did I just hear what I heard? I rewinded it back and every time I hear it, I get goosebumps. But hold on. Not yet. She's scatting right now. Here we go. So, what she's doing?
Why Vern has never played music on the show before.
I
don't. Vern is,
he's on fire.
He's been to the future. So,
Layla sang a chord. She sang 3 parts at one time. That's alien. I mean, what is that? And I've been a fan of Layla since her first album. And you want to talk about the growth? Like, Layla was dope on her first album. She's an alien now. She's mastered her vocal. Her tone is very, very, very rich. It's
rich.
It's rich, and it's uncanny, man. How she sounds like her dad.
And people don't understand. She sounds like Donnie.
Yeah.
So much, yo.
Yeah. Layla is for people that I would pay if they sang the songbook. It's Layla Hathaway, Musina, Alex Isley, and Carmen Rogers. So I'm glad that later on in her career, I think she's on Grammy like 3 or 4 now. But Layla is another person who don't run around, do runs like she Usain Bolt. She know how to find the nooks and the crannies in the song and just fill in a little bit. Like I'll listen to her, Eric Roberson's joint today, Dealing. And at the end, she's not singing any words. She's just humming. And it's just incredible, bro. And I appreciate brilliance. I appreciate it. I appreciate greatness in athletes and singers and rappers or whatever. And she's mastered her craft. So I'm done.
All right, no doubt. Eddie, who you got left, bro? Or do you want to give us the synonym? And
no synonyms, man. But I guess for this guy, I will say grimy, and that would be for Sticky Fingers, man. You know, he embodied that whole honest, like the rest of them dudes, like Fredro, like I felt like dude was young, you know what I mean? But Sticky had his own unique voice, that griminess that just came natural, like you felt him, you know what I mean? So very, very dope. And for R&B, I got Bilal. I feel like Bilal is another one who gets kind of like we were talking about Jill Scott getting compared to Erykah Badu just because of like the subgenre. And I feel like Bilal may get compared to like a D'Angelo and others. Like Bilal is his own entity. You know what I mean? Like he's just incredible. Like his range is crazy. Like what he can do. Like and the last thing I want to point out about him, if you watching this out there, haven't seen it, look at his Prince tribute. I think he performed the beautiful ones. Like he absolutely killed it.
Great one, Eddie.
Master class.
Yeah, like when I saw it, I was like, man, they got the perfect person to do Prince.
I said, when they was like, who you think should do a Prince tribute, he was the first person on my list.
So Eddie, the pigback, if y'all gonna do a deep dive into Bilal, go listen to All Matter on Robert Glasper's album.
On Robert Glasper, yeah.
Man,
yes.
Bilal goes insane. And then I would also say All for Love. I don't even know what album that's. I think that's on the unreleased album. Yeah,
that's on Love for Sale.
Man, he's a problem, dog.
Yeah, facts. Good news. What you got up there? And take us home, brother.
Man, I just wish I had the R&B range of Vern and JR and shit.
Oh well, nigga, they the cheat codes. They go back and forth with time. So I mean, these niggas get the time machine together and fuck around all week, and then just pop up back here with all this game. So it's mere mortals. We just go to work every day. So
yeah, word. But on the R&B side though, I wanted to mention Tina Marie.
Great pull.
Always love that song Portuguese in Love. That's like my favorite like song. One of my songs of all time. I remember when I was living in going to Morgan, going to Baltimore, and my man had a record player, and he had that album, Tina Marie album, Portuguese in Love, and he played the record. And I remember us smoking, and I remember the way that song played with the record popping and all that. I've never been able to hear that song the way I heard that. Like, this is like 95 or some shit. I've never been able to hear that song that way again. I'm still like chasing to hear that record the way that it sounded on his record player and shit back then. Shout out to my man Carter and shit. But somebody else I wanted to mention who's not really like mad famous like that. With two people I wanted to mention that's not really famous like that. Patrice Rushen.
You got JR attention. JR.
Yo, y'all. All right. Go ahead, keep going.
And another one, because I'm saying y'all cats was going deep. I said, you know what, man? Let me go on my bag.
Right. This thing got a synonym for everything. You see, I came with my lines up. I had to join the synonym and shit.
So if y'all remember the group Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah band.
Look at
the word. So yeah, the lead singer was a female named Corey. I believe her name was Corey Day.
Corey Day.
Y'all know Dr. Buzzard because they sing that song Tommy Mottola.
The Ghostface.
So that's Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah band. So they weren't like super popular and shit, man, but her voice, man, like they got a couple of albums. When y'all get a chance, check them out, man. Her voice is just like, and to describe their, I don't even know what to classify their music under. I don't even know what genre. Is it this? Is it like Spanish music? Is it like, I don't know, man.
I don't know,
Like
you were there when they recorded it, JR. So
right, I'm sure he was in the studio when they made the album.
Y'all, I would say, shoot, I would give it funk and like it's just a gumbo of it all. To be honest, like, it's just a gumbo. Wow, damn, I was just listening to them like maybe like a couple of months ago. So yeah, it's like
but you got this song called "Hard Times" that I really like. Whenever I hear that song, I'm like, wow, the way that she poured her heart into that song, and the way that she's singing about her having hard times, man. That shit is crazy, man. So on the R&B, that's what I had. Hip hop. Just to run through some names, I had Pooh Bah on there. You know, y'all know for his voice. I had the Guru from Gangstar for his voice. I also had DJ Premier. I thought that anytime I heard DJ Premier talking on a track, he even did a couple of hooks on like MOP records and shit like that. And I was like, damn, Premier got a dope ass voice, man. For I wouldn't mind hearing the whole 16 from Premier. Probably too late now, but in his heyday, in his prime, I would have loved to hear a 16 from Premier. And ODB, and also Redman, who I had down for like having dope ass voices for obvious reasons. You know what I mean? Their delivery is super powerful. Their bars is crazy, unmatched, wild shit. Nobody will ever rhyme like those guys again. So yeah, man, that's my list, man. That's everything, man. That's the whole load, bro.
I got 3 more people. I just want to shout out y'all know me. I come up with a name for every stand base that's out there. So I call the Cool G rap stands the Lispers. I gotta shout out the Lispers. Cool G Rap had a dope voice with a lisp. Eric Sermon had a dope voice with a lisp, and Little Dap had a dope voice with a lisp. So I'll shout out the lispers out there because they, they didn't let having the lisp stop them from being dope. You know what I mean? Like they didn't. I mean, people hate that first Group Home album lyric wise, but I thought Lil Dap was dope. You know what I mean? I always thought Dap was cool. Like when niggas be like, yo, they trash. I'm like, all right, well, Malachi, but Dap is dope to me. Like he's not no lyrical genius, but again, I'm old. I don't need you to be a lyrical acrobat. Guru wasn't no lyrical acrobat.
No, he wasn't.
Not everybody lame. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got the voice. Your voice delivers, and it's
right. You go back to listen to Little Proof and listen to Lil Dap part and listen to Superstar and just listen to Dap. It's almost like watching Questlove Supreme. You got to ignore Quest and just listen to the guests. Ignore Malachi and just listen to Dap. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't have been mad at a Little Dap solo album 1995 produced by Premier because I think that shit would have been dope. Now, could he have held it down Dolo? I don't know, but I know the beats would have been crazy. So, all that to say, some of the dopest voices. All that also to say, man, this is one of those eps where prayerfully people will write down some stuff because these people up here were giving out so much game. Guru's going, Gnu's going to Doctor's Savannah's Buzzard Band. Bird went to the future and back. JR done broke down the whole synopsis, done did a masterclass in Brandy. I done learned about the Carpenters. I done learned about Felipe Wetton. Why am I going to
Felipe Lopez? He didn't play for St. John. He didn't play for St. John, man.
I got to keep coming up with it. I'm about to say Mario Lopez now. Like I'm stuck in this like Menudo fucking Saved by the Bell world.
Jesus.
The Carpenters. So again, I always tell people, man, if y'all actually go home and do your homework, listen to some of the stuff that we shout out. I got shout out my man Golden. He hit me the other day. He was like, Kill. I just watched my first ep of Apartment 5B. Love the Posse Cut show. Never heard the Scenario remix. Never heard of Kid Hood doing the research like that. And that's why we do this show. I mean, it's great to reminisce and learn amongst each other, but I really want this to be a place where, you know, go do your homework, man. Like y'all say, again, I always challenge people. If you say you love music, if you say you love the culture, you should want to learn more. You should never, ever have enough. So, you know, that's why we want to present when we talk about somebody. I'm like, hey, here's Sadat X. You should go listen to this album if you need a good place to start from. Because I get it. Music can be overwhelming. It's like, well, where do I start? Well, this is where you can start. So, you know, definitely, prayerfully, people were taking notes. Gnu, where can they get at you, good brother?
Yo, as always, hit me on Instagram at Mr. Gary Gnu, and Twitter. Sometimes I'm on there, Mr. Gary Gnu 73. I think that's my shit on Twitter. But yeah, IG at Mr. Gary Gnu, y'all. Peace.
When are we getting the podcast back, bro?
Working on that, man. You know, I got to get some things behind the scenes together, man. But yeah, it's you know.
All right, dope. Eddie, what's going on?
Yes, sir. On Twitter, Eddie D80, Instagram, freestyles.
Are we getting freestyles back?
I'm working on it, just like
All right. No doubt. Vern, I know you selling the house, so I ain't gotta ask you if you working on selling no more. Not a house, doing mortgages. This nigga is not a real estate agent. He does the mortgage. That's it. I just thought you did all that shit. Built the house, sold it, did the mortgage off the one. You just did one stop. You was the rubber band man, like on the spinach. You do it all. You rubber band man, like on the spinach with my man Felipe Win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Where can they get at you, Vern?
On Instagram at Be the Loan Closer, and then Twitter B Chandler 10. And man, I just listened to that Brandy Colors. Oh my god, man.
Bro, here's the thing. T hit me the other day. She was like, yo, I've been listening to that all day. The stuff that Brandy is doing on there is just, and like I said, this is what I always tell. For a lot of people with Eminem, I always think Eminem is an MC's MC, because the people who I know who love Eminem are MCs. You know what I mean? And again, like I was saying, I believe an MC can hear things that we don't even realize this person is doing. And Brandy is truly a singer's singer. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely. JR, where can they get at you? R&B Guru, Youngest in Charge, Time Traveler. Where the fuck was you at when I was gambling with and I was losing all my damn money with damn DraftKings for you to tell me some of these scores, man?
Yeah. What, me?
Yeah, I thought you could only go in the past, nigga. I know what the fuck happened. I need to know what's gonna happen in the future, man.
I don't know no future. What you talking about?
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Right, yo, why me and they watching that right now, bro? We watching Hot Tub Time Machine when he was betting, but
I follow JR's Brother Soul on Instagram, JR's Brother Soul on Twitter, R&B Raps. I know this episode will be out. So this new episode that me and Elise just did, we did Zoe, we did Dilla's Welcome to Detroit. It's a dope episode since it's Dilla's birthday coming up. So we talked about the whole album. So dope. So check it out.
Here's a fun fact. I hated Welcome to Detroit when it dropped.
You're not
I like it now, but when it first dropped, I was like, nah, this ain't it.
I didn't rock with.
Yo, JR, how come I done heard Pretty Girl 900 times by Eric Roberson and didn't know that Dilla produced that?
For real?
Yeah. I ain't know.
Yeah. Well, where can they get at you, good brother?
Uptown Rail 215 on the gram, JBand 215 on Twitter.
When are we coming back with the clothes?
Oh man, once I finish this music stuff, I gotta prioritize my my activities with work, man. Work be kicking my ass. So once I finish this music, then I go back to that. And then once I finish this album, then JR, you know what my EP's coming. The Rel Tresvant Experience is coming.
I love it. The Rel Tresvant Experience, man.
The Rel
said the experience.
It's the rhythm of the Relzo sound. Smack you up.
You think I'm joking? It's coming.
Come see.
So yeah.
All right.
So,
and you already know what it will be. Q889, Twitter, IG, man. I get at y'all next week, y'all.